Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 192 of the All Can Hear podcast. I'll be your host today, Patrick, and joining me today are my three closeout co-hosts.
Jingle Bell Jonathan.
My name is Colt. Want to get out of here? Let me out. Let me out. The door's closed.
We got him locked up.
It's man. I'm sorry. I don't know what. My name's Wenzel. Hey, what's up?
Okay, hey.
Last episode of the year, it is just simply Wenzel.
I thought about doing Winter Wonderland Wenzel again, but I was like, I didn't do that for the last one, so it doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters.
Truly nothing matters. Why are we here? Let's stop the podcast.
Well, we can't stop the podcast because we got to break down all the things that happened this year because it's time for another year-end special, 2020 AYCH Awards.
Yay!
We sound so enthused.
Oh, we did have a big sugar crash.
I want to say, first off, is even though this year did suck ass in almost in a lot of ways, there was still a bunch of cool stuff that released media, entertainment-wise.
And even if you didn't get to enjoy that stuff, like if you didn't get a chance to it, let's say you have a backlog, right? I bet there's a ton of people out there who got to enjoy stuff from years past, whether it be movies, video games, books, or what have you. So, good shit.
It was pretty bad, but it wasn't all bad.
If it wasn't for the good company and almost, I would say, intravenous drip connection to our streaming devices, who knows where we'd all be.
Oh, I would 100% be a hermit. I would forget how to talk. I would grunt only, and I would be covered in my own poop.
Anybody who says they want to live in any time before the fucking 20th century or maybe early 20th century, they're like, we have too much technology. Everybody's on their phone too much. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Everything's better now.
Everything, we have literally access to the world through communication and through these devices, and we have, so much better medicine, just everything.
I guarantee we've had this talk somewhere before in the past year.
We definitely have. It was on the second spinner wheel episode.
Yeah, we did. That was not even 2 months ago.
But like you said, we was just breaking down some of the highlights of media from 2020. We will say, because this year was a little unorthodox, a little different, and just very off the register for everyone else, this year's awards, we will be changing up our format a little bit. We will still be talking about, of course, our big topics like the best in anime and music and video games and movies. But instead of sort of trying to come up with a singular list of the best in those things from the year, what we'll be doing instead is just giving our personal favorites on each of those categories throughout the year. Because I feel like, one, just how uneven the year has been in terms of media release, it'd be a bit hard to sort of make a definitive list in some respects. And we feel like it would just be easier for us to sort of just to give our favorites because it's kind of hard to kind of the bicker and fight over what would be number one.
Also, I just want to say, doing it like we've been doing it for the past, I don't know how many years, I can't do that anymore. Never again do I want to do that. Because all the time, every single time we do it, I end up coming out bitter about stupid small things. In the end, I know I shouldn't be bitter. It's stupid. None of this matters. But it's always just mentally draining because your brain is stupid and it wants to get mad about everything.
Well,
I was going to...
That and it takes 6 fucking hours to record.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. I was going to, just some honesty with anybody listening right now. Going forward, we're probably not going to do that format from here on out. Like Colt said and like Jonathan said, it's been draining because we do put a lot of time in it and getting together is fun. But we couldn't do that this year. And even if we did that remotely, I doubt we wouldn't have ever done it remotely like that, because it's like before, it's just so draining, and all that bickering or arguing, and some of it's fun, some of it, like Colt said, it leaves us bitter and maybe upset, maybe like me, a little too passionate about what we're talking about.
Yeah, because like we'll have a song on there that we personally feel attached to, and then Cody's out of the nowhere, he's like, I thought this song was shit. All right, let's go to the next song. And like, he's supposed to let me blow that off. Like, okay, thanks for insulting my favorite song.
Yeah, so we're gonna reel that back, and instead we're just gonna talk about the things that we each personally liked. Maybe one of us didn't like it. That's okay. It's fine. No arguing, no voting, none of that. Just us bantering. And if that drained you or maybe made you tired as well, sorry. I hope we had a little bit of fun, and I hope some of you had a little bit of fun, but we're gonna change it up this year, of course.
Also, just to be aware, to everyone in the podcast, this is just for us and maybe the listeners if they care, I'm going to insult every single person here for their taste at least once today. It's my mission to insult you.
But then what was that whole bit about, not doing the bickering and fighting and then being bitter and angry?
You gotta do something for all kinds of fans, Pat.
For the listeners out there who love to hear a squabble and fight.
You know what, Pat? You suck because you're using your brain. That's it. Pat's done. Got him done.
Pat's executed. Damn.
Oh my God,
Pat
is he really executed?
He's dead. He's dead.
Oh God.
Cole, it's up to you now. Carry this podcast.
I think we need to call an ambulance, but not for me.
Oh
no.
Oh!
Okay, we're going to jump right into our first major topic. We will, like I said, we have our 4 major topics: anime, music, video games, and movies. Interspace with our more fun topics. They'll sort of be coming in the middle there. But our first major topic we'll be talking about tonight is best anime of 2020. And like we said, just giving our personal favorites of the anime that we watched this year, and with a special highlight for the series that came out this year. All right. Who would like to start it off with their favorite anime from 2020?
I can go.
No, I will go.
All right.
Sorry. No, I my list is short, so that's why I thought I should probably go first, just to get out of the way. And there will probably be some overlap, so I'll just go into it. Earlier this year, My Hero Academia Season 4 ended. And we were well into quarantine, and we're still in quarantine technically. But everybody pretty much caught up with it during that time, and we all collectively flipped out when we all watched the final episode. Seeing it, having read it in the manga and then seeing it done beautifully. Oh my God! We got easily 2 of the best fights in anime from this season. And it was just fantastic, and I'm so excited for you guys to see what's in store for Season 5, which comes out next year.
Yeah. Hopefully. Since we're here already, My Hero's on mine. I really enjoyed this season. Last season, I enjoyed it up to a point, and then everything after that point, it just wasn't hitting the same hype levels. Because after the All Might fight with Less Might, All for One, it just wasn't as hype for me. And considering I've read to that point, I decided that I wouldn't read anymore, because if I knew about it, it wasn't that much more exciting to watch it animated. But so since I didn't read this part of the manga for Season 4, I was really into it. I really enjoyed the overhaul. I really enjoyed what is his name? The guy, and he's got the internet fan that follows him around.
Gentle Criminal.
I enjoyed his bullshit shenanigans, and then them setting up the parade just to make little what's that little girl's name?
Eri,
just to make Eri happy. I really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that was something. Whenever this came out, my favorite arc was the overhaul arc. And go ahead, gonna say there's probably gonna be spoiler for a lot of stuff in this as well. So if you want to stop and go watch it or just not come back, that's fine. The overhaul arc was fantastic. It's my favorite arc. And it's weird too, because whenever it came out and finished, people were talking about they were like, didn't really like that arc. Like, what?
I
that
don't
was amazing.
Understand that, because
like
the fight with Lemillion and Overhaul was absolutely insane. Then Deku suddenly starts flying, and the way he fucking destroys him just
that I was not prepared for that to be animated the way it was. I was not. And when I saw it, I was crying. I was like, this is so freaking just insane. They did this so perfectly. You know, it was a little dark because that's what they do, but oh my god, it was insane. Like, because like you said, like he's going 100%, and he literally he's using 100% of One for All to fight this guy who literally morphed with one of his henchmen to defeat him. Like, he has to go, like, this is Deku going all out, and
the only reason he's able to do it is because Ares on his back.
Ares on his back using Rewind, and like he was literally taking limbs off of Overhaul. It was insane. That was a crazy fight too. And there's a part in there whenever you see it's like up close of Overhaul, his eyes, and it's like, a lot of people say, like, that's him essentially watching his life flash before his eyes, and I think that's really that really is perfect, because in that moment, Deku looks like an absolute fucking monster, and like his face, he's not smiling, but his teeth are showing, and I feel like in a way that's kind of a strained smile as he's about to punch the shit out of Overhaul.
I mean, he's probably pretty like gratified in like beating the shit out of Overhaul, because up to this point in the series, Overhaul is definitely the most despicable villain they've come across. Like, because like I was like All For One, he's like obviously very evil, but I feel like
he's very corporate evil, while Overhaul is very much gangster, more so brutal.
Yeah, Overhaul, I mean, he literally abuses Eri, a child, and he's killed her. He's killed her several times and put her back because of his quirk, Overhaul, which I was so excited because that quirk is insane. Power of Overhaul. It's essentially a more powerful Crazy Diamond from Part 4.
Yeah, I just did the corporate and gangster because I've been playing Cyberpunk, and that's been on my brain. Sorry.
No, you're right. I mean, All For One is like essentially criminal underworld. Well, like he's in the shadows, but like he's the figure at large, Like,
yeah, and he's very professional in a way. He just kills to get their power. He doesn't care about seeing the suffering.
Well, I wouldn't say that. He definitely wanted to see All Might suffer, and especially anybody who uses One for All.
Okay, well, yeah, but like Overhaul wanted the more.
Yeah, Overhaul is different because I don't know. They're both very complex in that Overhaul, is trying to he's trying to exploit. He's using the girl to exploit society and to kind of bring the Yakuza, which is a gang, back into notoriety. Make people fear them again, and like I don't know. That was that was just crazy too. And then I think the one thing that people hated the most about the arc was just that, like, because nobody says, like, the fights were bad, the characters were bad. No, nobody says that. No, everybody just says that Overhaul is wasted potential because at the very end, we get an encounter between him and Tamura and Mr. Compress and Dabi, and Mr. Compress takes one of his arms because Overhaul took one of his arms, which was absolutely fucking bloody, and I loved it. And Tamura takes the other one, and he's effectively lost his quirk. And people were thinking like, oh shit, like that would have been a good arc, is to have the Yakuza and like the villain League of Villains to have like a constant like battle going on throughout the series to make more complex character development, especially for Tamura and like for the other heroes and the students. But that didn't happen, and that's fine. I don't really care. I think it was a great arc, and I think going forward, I'm kind of glad, I guess, that's not what happened because of everything that's happening now. It did add to Tamura's development and to the whole group as a whole, or the group as a whole. So yeah, sorry, talked a lot.
My hair's good. I'm looking forward to that 5th season whenever it does come.
And then also, towards the end of the season, we get that beautiful just Endeavor.
Gosh, that was fantastic way to end the season. Just It's beautiful. It's actually what gave me, it birthed a new look for Endeavor in my head. I actually really enjoy his character. I am excited to see him potentially redeem himself a little bit for being an abusive husband and father.
Yeah, because that's something that that's some. How do you approach that? How do you deal with that? And Horikoshi has been. I will say he's been the way he's been kind of juggling that is it's tough, but I will say it makes Endeavor an interesting character.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have to be said. You can like a character like that and, not endorse the things they do.
Yes.
Like, I think Endeavor has a cool design and he's badass. Does that mean I endorse him being an abusive husband and father? No.
Absolutely
this should be
not.
obvious.
No. Like, I think Overhaul was pretty fucking badass, but I hated his actions.
Oh yeah, no, I mean you still had people cosplaying as Overhaul, even Endeavor. Overhaul, cool quirk, cool design, shitty, terrible person. I mean, that's just a villain. That's a villain. And Endeavor's different. He's a hero, but he's a complicated character as well. And that can be. Pat says it perfectly, so it doesn't even whatever.
Yeah,
you get it.
No, I was gonna say I didn't watch as many anime this year. But there was one I really sat down and was able to watch the entire season, and that was the Dorohedoro anime. And I really enjoyed it. I know there's been definitely a little bit of contention with this series because the animation style, it is CG animation. And I will say it does feel some of the better CG animation in anime, although I would have preferred it had been more consistent with because there's stuff in there that it kind of volleys back and forth honestly between traditional animation and CG, but I really enjoyed it. I got really into Dorohedoro at the end of last year. I got the first 5 volumes from Christmas from the boys and I just ate it up. I just burned through them. So cause it's just like a surreal, quirky, and horrific series because it's like hardcore horror and punk style, and that art style is right up my alley. And this is a great show because you have just a demented world, but all the characters are pretty light and jovial for the most part. It just despite sort of the world that it's set in. And I do like the contrasting stories you have from Kaiman and his team on Sunday. You have all the bad guys they're compelling and entertaining. And while just being just viscerally brutal, but also kind of this weird hodgepodge of a family.
Hell yeah!
I think the season ends a little bit past where I have in my manga series. I would say it probably ends around volume 8 or 9. It's well into the Sorcerer World arc, and there's a big turn into series, and I'm very much invested. And where it goes, because the weird thing about Dorohedoro, because I feel it feels like it would be a shorter series, but new themes keep kind of adding up to sort of prolong the mystery, but it doesn't feel like it's being forced or being written by the seat of their pants. It's like this comfortable level. I feel like it can end at any moment, but it still continues.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's a very interesting way to make a series, and it works very well.
Hell yeah! All right.
Hell yeah.
Well, sorry, I was going to say something. I was going to say, I wonder if it's because the art style is so gritty and hardcore. Is that why they possibly went to kind of that weird CG kind of?
It could be because there's a lot of details there, but at the same time, I don't know. I think the CG looked good. It looks like the better CG, like Pat said.
It doesn't look bad, yeah.
Because I guess when I was just looking at Hayashida's art style, I can imagine if anybody's seen Ed, Edd and Eddy, the characters are static, but they have this kind of buzzing outline around them. That's kind of how I would figure if it was traditionally animated. Because I feel it just has this really buzzing, sketching style. I have these Pigpen-esque lines just buzzing around them.
Yeah.
And, I think that'd be a great aesthetic. I don't know how cost effective that would be to animate. If that might be maybe over sort of the animation budget. And it's whatever studio that given the opportunity to animate, they have sort of their own way of going about things. And that's that's their prerogative. But there is a part of me that wished that it was a little bit closer to the original manga. But I feel like it still captures the strength of the series, and I'm very excited to catch the next season when that comes out. I don't think I've heard of when season 2 is coming out yet. But in the meantime, I still have several volumes in the manga to catch up on, that will tie me over until we get the next anime season.
Hell yeah.
Is that all your anime?
I did have one more anime, but I think that would be more of a joint discussion. So with Burn the Witch. So the next person who has a more individual series, we'll talk about that next.
Oh, for me, my anime, I don't have that much. I had the My Hero, which we just covered. My Hero's good. I got Japan Sinks, which we covered this, our summer anime list. Like we said then, it is a very sad, very heartbreaking story. It's got a happy ending, but man, does Masaki Yuasa know how to beat you with a baseball bat. I said that in the review, and I stand by that still. It's very good. I don't want to spoil it because it's only 10 episodes, and it's beautiful. I think if you like to get hit with a baseball bat, you'll probably like this.
It's like a baseball bat with sadness written on it, and he jumps you.
Pretty much. And then I have Jujutsu Kaisen, which isn't finished yet, and I'm not fully caught up on it, but from where I'm at, I'm really enjoying it. It's very cool. The animation's really good. I don't know if Wenzel brought this up on the podcast, but in person, he's talking about how he wants to read the manga. But the manga art style is nothing that crazy compared to the anime. And I looked at it. I agree with Wenzel. It's okay art, but compared to the anime blows it out of the water.
Yeah, it's not, it's really, I hate to do this, to the person, but like, it's not bad. It's just that I would prefer, it needs to be, I need it in a different visual format, which is in color and moving, because I think even if it was colored, that would probably help it a little bit, but
it's not very detailed.
It's not very detailed, and I think it has to rely a lot on movement. Yeah. And yeah, that's what I said to Colt because we were talking about it, and it's so funny too because a lot of people compare Jujutsu Kaisen with Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is the exact opposite. If it was never animated, I'd be fine because its art is fantastic, absolutely fucking killer. Talk about that later. But Jujutsu Kaisen, I think, needed to be animated, and it is, and I love it. And that's also my other anime, so I'm just gonna talk about it. Jujutsu Kaisen, so far I've been loving it. At first we talked about this with Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer on the surface seemed kind of plain, but then it turned out to be really really good. And then same thing with this. Jujutsu Kaisen on the surface just seemed like your regular Shonen Jump, but then as the series is going to progress, it's really good, really fun. There's also these little bits that they have at the end of each episode called Jujutsu Scrolls, which are just really fucking funny. Colt, what was the last episode you watched?
9. No, 9. I stopped on 9.
You stopped at 9? Damn,
Yeah.
I can't do this bit then. Never mind. There's I think it's episode 9. There's a bit in there that is something that I did in school.
All right.
No, you'll get it.
Okay.
It. There, Jujutsu Scroll, there's a bit in there that is something that that I did in middle school and in high school, and it's so fucking funny. And Gojo, man, Gojo is just... He's my favorite character. I love Gojo so much. Colt, pretty boy.
Gojo is definitely gonna be the next guy that you see on. If Gojo existed in 2008, he would have been on so many Hot Topic T-shirts, so many bags. He is the typical middle school girl's dream.
Yeah, I won't say too much because I don't know if Pat's caught up. But yeah, Gojo. I love Gojo. And I'm really excited to see more of him. Thanks, Pat, for.
We'll find the context for that later, maybe.
Yeah. Anime dogs. anime dogs. That is what Pat is sending us right now.
Because this is a bit for later at the end of the segment, because we'll be discussing also the best anime dog of the year. But we did want to continue on with our actual anime discussion. I was just putting that in there for the boys for visual reference.
Yeah.
You distracted us. Anyway, Jujutsu Kaisen, really good. It's definitely not like any, currently right now it's kind of like your regular Shonen Jump, but from what I've heard, people have said it later as it progresses is not like any Shonen Jump before. So give it a watch. You know, if you want to read the manga and it hits you, or you know it hooks you in, then read the manga too. I won't say not to.
For the final anime that I have here, which I imagine this is the group discussion anime, Burn the Witch. That's probably one of my favorite animes that dropped this year, and it's a movie.
Well, technically it's 3 episodes, so it's not a movie.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Burn the Witch fed the hole in my heart, and it opened it a little bit more for Bleach. I want more Bleach-related content. Not necessarily Bleach, but also Bleach. And I'm glad we're getting it through the Burn the Witch universe. I want to know more about this city.
Because I remember reading the manga when it was dropped earlier this year and Jumped, and like I was really into it because like obviously Tite Kubo has a very distinct style, like with his characters. They're very flashy, they're very fashionable, and like even though like I had my troubles with Bleach, I feel like still one of the strongest things about the series was like its overall design and especially character design, and like just seeing this like really interesting world like with this sort of this quasi modern fantasy version of England, and like all the different types of dragons, and like you get little hints of its sort of broader relations with Bleach and sort of like how the girls are using magic and how they're fighting, and just like honestly, like the characters are super cool and their names are so like over the top. Bruno Bang Knife, come on.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's one of the best looking anime of the year. Even if it's like an OVA, a movie, whatever you want to call it, like it just looks superb. Like it's without a doubt one of the best looking series of the year.
Yes, 100%. Fuck.
Yeah.
What was that little doggy dude's name?
Oshi.
Oshi.
And well, speaking of doggies, I think it's a good time to jump into it. Our 4 contenders for the anime dog of the year, one from each season. Winter, we have Oda Cinnamon Nobunaga, about the Japanese historical figure reincarnated as a Shiba Inu dog. That's the winner,
yes.
The winter nominee. The spring nominee is Shiro Ogami, the Wolfman from B&A, Brand New Animal. We have Pipe, the summer representative from the anime series Decadence. So he may not be a literal dog, but he's very much dog in spirit.
That's a dog.
Yeah, that's a dog.
And lastly, we have the fall representative, and that's Oshi from Burn the Witch. Who would y'all be pulling as the best dog of anime in 2020?
I think it's fairly obvious what my answer is with Oshi. I love that little fella. He's a crazy little doggy that craves one thing. Not appropriate. He's a crazy dog. I'll say this. He's mad. Insane. He craves panties. He's insane. I love Oshi.
He's a crazy bastard, and I got to give it to Oshi too. That little fucking chode. Also, I would like to also recommend some good runner-ups. The Demon Dogs from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Those are good dogs. They eat demons very well.
Yeah, they do.
I watched one get their head cut off, but yes.
Spoilers.
Who are you casting your vote for best dog of 2020?
For best dog, Decadence.
Pipe. I don't know.
Good choice.
Pipe's a good choice.
Pipe's really good. Like he's a big like blob, and he just bumbles around. He was really cute in Decadence.
He just has an adorable little.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel kind of basic, but I really like Oshi. He's just like disgustingly cute.
It's a Pomeranian dragon.
And like, but they're all good dogs. There's not a bad dog. They're all good.
There's never a bad dog, Pat.
I really like Oshi, and I will say people really like Oshi because like our second biggest Instagram post of the year was a 9-picture photo grid of Oshi.
Yeah.
Like stupid big. God damn, it was so funny how that just blew the fuck up. So people love Oshi, and it's really hard to argue.
Yep.
Yeah.
By majority vote, Oshi is the anime dog of the year, according to AYCH. The one
But they're
thing
all
we may
good.
vote on tonight.
Yay!
Yeah.
Was there any other little anime subjects we want to talk about before we move on to our next topic?
All right, guys, it's time to get in the corner. Settle in the corner. I'm about to have my thing. Okay, this is my time. Sit in the corner and listen. This year, I didn't watch as much 2020 anime because I was busy buying every Blu-ray of every Gundam series ever, and I have almost completed that. I'm missing like probably 4 series, but I've watched a lot of Gundam. Today I'm going to rank the 11 series from Gundam that I watched this year, which roughly adds up to 83 hours of Gundam. So here we go. Dead last is Gundam F91. This one was disappointing. I had so much hype going into it because the animation, the art style was so beautiful, but that story was boo-boo. Number 10, we got the OG Gundam. I know this is crazy because I know a lot of people love the OG Gundam. I thought it was pretty basic. I liked it. Keep in mind, I like all of these, by the way. It's just that it's basic. Number 9, Victory Gundam. It's another pretty okay Gundam series. We got to see what a giant angel Gundam kind of looks like in the sky. And we got to see tiny mobile suits, and everyone died in the end. Pretty good. Number 8's Gundam Double Zeta. That's where my favorite mobile suit comes in, which is the Gundam Double Zeta. It was wacky. It was crazy. They went on the moon. Next is Gundam Zeta. Pretty good. Camille is my second favorite Gundam protagonist behind Banagher Lynx. Which, speaking of Banagher, we got Gundam Unicorn at number 6. Gundam Unicorn, I absolutely love it. It was the first Gundam I've ever watched. Thinking back on it, I shouldn't have watched this first because it had the most complicated shit in it, but I don't know how I didn't notice it because you had to watch some of the OG Gundam, you had to watch some Gundam Double Zeta, and I didn't watch any of that. I just went into this blind as hell. Still, but on this second watch, I understood everything, and I absolutely loved it. Number 5, Char's Counterattack. Some of the best mobile suit designs in the whole thing, the franchise as a whole. You got the Suzabi, you got the RX-93, New Gundam. Very beautiful, iconic movie. 4, Gundam Thunderbolt. Was my favorite Gundam thing before I did all this. Gundam Thunderbolt, really good. I feel like I've had a spiel on this in the past, but watch Gundam Thunderbolt. Very good. Next is Gundam Origin, Char's, Red Comet, Char, whatever. I watched the anime series, not the compilation movies, which were the originals. Pretty damn good. Number 2 is Gundam Stardust Memory. Nukes going off in space. Nuke missile launcher. That's all I'm going to say. Number 1, War in the Pocket. Christmas Gundam. You get to watch a little kid lose his innocence. It's amazing. It's my favorite Gundam thing of all time. Not because of that reasoning, but it's very good.
Hell yeah.
I would say this is probably definitive overall of rankings of all the Gundam I've watched, except with number 2 would be tied with 08th MS Team and Stardust Memory because they're both fantastic. I would say if you're interested in Gundam at all to start, look at War in the Pocket, look at Stardust Memory, 08th MS Team, Gundam Origin, any of those, it's a great place to start. That's my Gundam corner. I went absolutely insane this year. I have so much more Gundam to watch. I got After War Gundam X I'm watching right now. I got Gundam Wing. I got G Gundam, which was the weird Mexico Gundam and Sombrero Colony in it.
You mean the Tequila Gundam, Cole? Excuse you.
The what?
It's called the Tequila Gundam.
Yes, the Tequila Gundam, and they got I think the colony's called like Mexico Colony or something like that.
Because they're all like
Neo Mexico.
Because all the countries literally just zoomed up their borders and land into space, and they're fighting a tournament to see who rules Earth for a year.
It's absolutely insane.
Basically, they make the Gundam series more shonen and like Okay, also, I'm not big into Gundam. I mean, I appreciate it. But the fucking bullshit comes out every once in a while that just really worms into my fucking brain. The people who dog shit on Gundam, G Gundam, acting like it's the worst Gundam when fucking Gundam Seed is right there. Fuck off.
I'm not gonna let you do this, Patrick. I'm not gonna let you do
Cole,
this.
But Gundam Seed made me stop watching Gundam. It was like the most boring Gundam I've ever watched.
You haven't watched Gundam then, because let me tell you, OG Gundam was not great. Also, Victory Gundam, it was pretty boring, but when the action happened, it was pretty
I
damn
like
fun.
the kit.
Yeah, Gundam Seed has some of my favorite designs as well. I love Gundam. You know this. I have hundreds of kits in my room.
We're getting some sick kits too from that.
I can't do this, Pat. Why'd you bring up the hate for Gundam Seed? I thought you were going to say something like...
But I will say I will fight in arm with anyone who supports SD Gundam.
You know, I respect it. Like, the thing is, I respect anyone's decision when it comes to liking any of these Gundam series, because they're pretty much all fun in the end. You're just having some fun. But we all know that the worst Gundam, or the most disappointing Gundam, F91. Just should have been a series. Shouldn't have been a 2-hour experience.
Cole, I forgot to ask, what about Iron Blooded Orphans? Where's that?
Oh, fuck. Oh, damn.
He has to redo his entire list now.
No. This is only seen in 2020 ranked. But Our Blooded Orphans probably not two, but two or three.
It's top 5.
It's fantastic. I love Mikazuki and Barbatos.
Yeah, because you have so many Barbatos kits, man.
I'm gonna buy every single one that comes out. Don't fucking get in my way.
You know, it's so funny because he's so iffy, and then this fucker buys every Barbatos. Like, dude, just say you love it. It's okay.
No, I'd never denied my love for Iron Blooded.
No, you're
Orphans.
denying it right now, and I will not have this.
I said it's top 5.
Whatever.
All right, I'll watch it again eventually. It's 50 episodes. Let me watch everything else first.
And I really hope someone can explain to me one day what the hell Turn A Gundam means.
Turn A Gundam. All right, Pat.
I didn't mean right now.
Okay, Pat, because I could go into... I haven't watched it, but it's the ultimate timeline where it connects Wing Gundam, G Gundam. Every other Gundam timeline connects into the Moon Gundam timeline, where an alien race is on the moon, and they come down and they invade Earth, and there's mobile suits. There's Zaku's trapped in fossils, and they release them from the fossils. Sid Mead did the designs. I'm gonna go insane, Pat. All right, we gotta go.
My eyes just glazed over for a solid 5 minutes.
No, yeah, I watched the film roll over Jonathan's eyeball.
Colt tried to explain this to me. I mean, he did, and I have forgotten it, not because I wasn't listening, but because he just threw a lot of information at
Yeah,
me.
it's just a lot.
I do info dumps. That's my thing. I like to read a lot on something,
and
then I throw it at you.
And I'm pretty sure I was driving too. So
Yeah.
So there's
It's
that.
like literally, Cole, I have to focus or we will both die.
Get into it. It's fun. I will say this. Gundam isn't the most exciting series. I will say that. I will not lie. But I will say the top 5 on this list are definitely very exciting.
I will say, because we watched the Gundam movie Banter Weekend back in March, and probably the rest of us, or at least the other 4 of us, aren't super well versed in Gundam, but we all had a good time watching it.
Yeah, was that Thunderbolt?
Yeah, that was Gundam Thunderbolt, December Sky. Which
December
is the best
Sky!
of the 2.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I lumped them in together because it's just Gundam Thunderbolt. Yeah. Fantastic. I love it. The animation's beautiful. It's got... I can't do this. We've already done Gundam episode. We'll do another one eventually. This has been my corner. Passing it back to you, Mike.
Well, thank you for your Gundam segment. But I think that more or less wraps up anime for this year. We a lot of fine choices for 2020 that came out this year. But we're moving on to our next big segment of the episode, and that will be Best Music of 2020. Much like the saying, we'll be discussing our favorite sort of musicians and albums and songs that dropped in the year 2020, anything else that we just came across and listened to over the course of the year. I'll go first. Now, I'm not the biggest music listener. Of course, I do listen to music, but I'm not don't really exclusively follow artists. I have my favorites, but I'm not really watching and waiting for the next thing to do. So if it's something new comes across on my list, I catch it and I watch it and I listen and I enjoy it. But just some of the few things that I listened to. There's a few albums that came out this year that I really was listening to. A couple of new ones I got into this year as well. Let's see. Some of the new ones I discovered this year was Coin and their new album Dreamland, which came out back in February. And it has like a really chill vibe, and I would really appreciate this. I kind of ran into this one just sort of like on my random on Spotify, just sort of like the Spotify radio section. It sort of just takes what you listen to and then just gives you something similar. And it had a really easy going vibe. My favorite from the album is Let It All Out 10:05. It's just I put it in chat. We always like to share music. And Colt said it sounded like church music. Whatever, it's really chill, and I was vibing with it hardcore. It was a lot of fun. Another new one was, I think Cody may introduce him in the group, but Dominant Fike, their album, What Could Possibly Go Wrong, I was really into it. Chicken Tenders, it's a fucking bop. It's really good.
That whole album's really good.
Double or Nothing and Weary, those are the other two songs from the album I like, but Chicken Tenders, I played that one a lot. It was really good. It was a good, and plus it's just a good bit. Chicken Tenders in my hotel room. It's good. Well, I was listening to them last year. I was introduced to them by a friend. I really got more into them this year. J Balvin and Maluma. They're both like Latinx singers, and J Balvin's got a lot. He's hugely popular. With his music, it's very sad boy music. Like it's very in its feelings, but it's just really just sort of just fun to listen to. Maluma is really good. He just pumps out music. The one criticism I have about Maluma is that he has this sort of little thing he does with his music that's not really musical. I guess it's more so like flavor he adds to it. Basically, he's a very handsome man, and he plays on that. So he has like these kind of like little like flirty little like whispery bits he puts it in some of his songs, and like kind of sounds corny. So like, you know, he gets like kissy sounds or like, you know, like papi wancho, just like little silly stuff. Like if you're that too late, she, you know, great, fine and wonderful. To me, it just sounds a little corny, but his music's really cool. He had a like a little EP B-side thing he did with J-Lo, 2 songs that was really good. Pachi, I really did like those songs that crossover they did. And my album of the year, Call Me Basic, but to me there's nothing else that comes close to me. I played the shit out of it, and that's Lady Gaga's Chromatica. Fuck me, I love Chromatica so much. Like, Call Me Basic, call it whatever you want, but nothing else tops that in my book this year, because I literally every song on there is a fucking banger.
Chromatica was fucking really good. Lady Gaga came back from her last album was
Joanne.
Joanne.
Yeah.
It was a very personal, very intimate album. This was all about her OG fun. Let's pop it, girls, and she popped it as hard as she could. Chromatica was amazing.
Like Plastic Doll, 911, just like Sour Candy. Like there's just so like I just keep thinking if it wasn't for all the bullshit this year, we'd be out at the club with the crew, just fucking just dropping it low on the dance floor to Chromatica. We were just getting like going nuts to this song. Like just imagine whenever the world is back in its proper place and we go out and we hear any one of the Chromatica songs drop, the fucking roof's gonna blow off. Like, I can't wait. And I literally, Gaga was like 3 of her songs were my top 5 on my Spotify Wrapped. Like, it's phenomenal. I loved it. Everything about this album. It's my favorite. Nothing else comes close. But that's me. That's my music for the year. Feel free to take the reins.
Because I only have 5 things here. I don't have much. Because I feel like I'll probably have... I'm probably second most then. I got number 5. Clipping's new album. He's a really good artist. He's kind of doing some experimental stuff that I'm really fucking with. What's his new album?
Visions of Bodies Being Burned.
Visions of Bodies Being Burned. Oh, woo! Candlestick in the Dark. Okay, it's really, really good. It's very good. If you love to hear Hamilton you'll love his music.
Yeah, because he helped.
He is in Hamilton. I don't know which historical figure he is.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. No, he does. Well, shit. Now I gotta look it up because
What is he?
fuck. You're making me nervous.
I'm making you nervous.
You're making me nervous because I gotta look it up and I gotta make sure I get this right. His real name is David Diggs, and
Marquis de Lafayette.
and Thomas Jefferson in the musical
Oh, okay.
for Hamilton. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. He's an actor. He's a rapper, singer, songwriter. Dude's really talented. Even one of his songs even inspired a novel, which is crazy. I've heard great things about it. It's now I gotta search this up too. I think it's called The Deep.
Out of all the things he's done, I feel like his name is clipping, his group clipping is overlooked due to Hamilton. I refuse to watch Hamilton because I don't want to watch that.
I didn't even know he was Hamilton until this year because we were, me and Colt were talking about this album, and then we looked it up, and it was like, oh shit, he was in Hamilton, and
Yeah, the thing is, we're the opposite of everyone else. Everybody knows him for Hamilton. They're like, oh shit, he's an artist, he's a musician. But we were like, oh shit, he's in Hamilton. I'm never watching it. I bet he did good. He probably did amazing.
like I watched Hamilton. I was drunk as shit, but like I still remember there's some genuinely good performances in that production. However you fall on the spectrum of that discourse, valid whichever side, it's just there's some genuinely good stuff in it. As Disney-fied as they make history, I think he did a good job. Very solid performance.
I'm sure he did. He was in He was in Blind Spotting, which I heard was good. He's in the new Snowpiercer TV show.
Yeah. How could we forget Snowpiercer?
Oh my god.
and yeah, then that book I was also talking about is called The Deep by Rivers Solomon. So check that out if you want. I've heard good things. But yeah, Visions of Bodies Being Burned. It's just, oh my god, it's horrorcore. It's essentially the companion to his album last year, which is, help me out here, Colt.
I can't remember Wenzel. I don't remember your name sometimes.
Okay, that's fine. I'm looking at it.
True.
There,
I remember names, but
I got
don't
it.
ask me about
There
dates.
existed an Addiction to Blood. That was also great. And it was horrorcore as well, but this one is just straight. He literally embraces it. It's just straight up horror from beginning to end, and it's fantastic. It's something else, and I like Cole. I highly recommend it. It's really good. There are bangers on this album.
Yeah, just to tell you how experimental his music can be. It's not all super experimental. His last album had 17 minutes or more of a piano being burned. Just the sounds of crackling piano.
Did I love it? Kind of.
But it's music.
No.
Number 4 for me, Lady Gaga, Chromatica, really good. We already know this. Number 3, number 4 from RTJ, Run the Jewels 4.
Oh yeah, that's on my list too.
Yes.
Oh my god, I love Run the Jewels. They're top 3 artists, I think. Maybe number 2 behind Gorillaz. I absolutely love Run the Jewels 4. I loved Run the Jewels 2, Run the Jewels 1, and Run the Jewels 3 was a little better than Run the Jewels 1, but Run the Jewels 4, it's heavily competing with RTJ 2. It's so good. And the way they dropped it, I was at work and I saw like, all right, we're hot dropping the album. It's 12 in the afternoon. Here it is. And I was on my Spotify Wrapped. It said that I was in the first 4,000 people to listen to RTJ4.
Fuck. Hell yeah.
So I was there. I was hot dropping. I was Fortnite getting it. Hot dropped.
Yeah, it came out 2 days before it was originally supposed to come out.
Yeah.
So that was like an amazing surprise.
I will not lie. Sometimes I'll just play Call of Duty Zombies, and I'll just have RTJ4 in the background. I do tear up a little because it's so damn good, and it is a very emotional album. There's a lot of stuff talked about in there it's very emotional stuff.
It deals a lot with like what's happening in the world right now, but also in the personal lives of the two rappers, LP and Killer Mike.
Yeah, this is definitely their most like personal and heavy album.
But it really is. Like with 3 and 2, it's a little bit more fun. They have some very important, serious issues they bring up.
Oh yeah,
But it also has a little bit of fun. With 3, it's all about a heist or some kind of robbery. Number 2, I don't really know the theme. Number 1, I don't really know because it's my least favorite. But this one, whoa, very serious, very heavy. It didn't really have as much silliness going on with it. Oh, man. But that's my third favorite album of the year.
It's very I'm trying to think of the word because, you know, with a song like Just, where the S is replaced with a $sign, it's very and a lot, and pretty much all of them, almost all of them, they're very maybe not sarcastic, but they're kind of like in your face, kind of like mocking kind of especially with what's been happening, and maybe abrasive. It's not coming to me right now, but like you know, a lot of the lyrics are really just well done. Like shit.
It's a lot of like, God, that's a gut punch. Jesus.
yeah.
Like on I think it's the last track. It's just very heavy shit. The way L talks up to his sister in the song really fucked me up when I was in the middle of Call of Duty. I sometimes will just have music on the background, not paying attention to the lyrics because my brain's on autopilot. I'm playing Call of Duty, but I was focusing in on the lyrics for I think the first time, and like he brought up that part about his sister, which was a tiny bit, like you say, I'm sorry you were hurt.
Yeah.
It fucking hurt me bad.
No,
I had to pause.
Every time I play this song, it's a few words for the firing squad. Every time I play this song, I listen to it because I really like the ending, which is, you know, Yankee and the brave, brave, brave. That part, but like the part where they're like really laying down the shit, and he says, "Sarah, I'm so sorry, sister, you were hurt," or like you said, that part, I'm like, oh man, like that hits. Like I said, because I remember when everybody got around to listen to it, Cody really started like putting back in the lyrics in our chat and like, you know, throwing them back out at us, and damn.
So fucking good. Absolutely love it. Ugh. All right, number 2. Number 2 is very close to number 1. These 2 albums are fantastic. I added every single one, including RTJ4. All these tracks were added to my favorites, which number 2 was The Strokes' new album, The New Abnormal. I absolutely fucking love this album. Fuck. Julian Casablancas, something about his voice. I really enjoy his voice and the way his music sounds.
No, I was just gonna say he's a weird motherfucker, but goddamn.
He is very weird. I will not lie there, but knows how to make good music. Number 1, Bring Me the Horizons. Post-human survival horror is the best album of the year and probably their best album ever. It's absolutely amazing. They got Baby Metal to do a track with them. And I fucking love Baby Metal. But yeah, that's pretty much my list. Bring Me the Horizon's perfect. Strokes' new album's perfect. RGA4 is perfect. Lady Gaga had like 2 songs I didn't care for. Clipping had 2 or 3 songs I didn't care for. But yeah, that's my music 2020 list.
I don't know if it's okay for me to go. Would that be okay? Because there's a kind of overlap right now with what Colt has.
Yeah, go ahead.
His number 1 is being post-human survival horror. I gotta talk about it. He dropped it. He was like, hey, this is really good. And I was like, okay, I don't really listen to Bring Me the Horizon, so I'll check this out. Checked it out. I literally sent a message saying, holy shit, this is amazing. Like from beginning to end, it's just hardcore, just punch in your face, just pump up, just really, really tight.
Hear this. The sky is falling. It's fucking boring. I'm going brain dead. Isolation. God is a shithead. And we're his rejects? Is that what he says?
Yeah, that's what he says. And fuck, that was good, man. It is so good. I mean, I kid you not. Like they even threw a track on there from their work that they did, the song they did for Death Stranding, which is Ludens. Ludens, also banger song. It fits perfectly into this too, because this album is pretty much just them kind of like there's a lot.
It's horror. It's a horror album.
It's a horror album, but also it's a lot of references to like video games, especially
Oh,
Dear
yeah.
Diary and Parasite Eve, those are direct references to
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, and they are fantastic. Just those two songs to start off the beginning, and then you got like that, like you said, that baby metal song Kingslayer, and then the song preceding that, Itch for the Cure. Yeah, that one is really good. Youngblood is on Obey, which is really good. It's I mean, like I'm looking at my sheet right now, or my doc right now. I have literally every song added to my Spotify playlist. I love it. It was fantastic. It was a good album, and I've never listened to Bring Me the Horizon, but holy shit, this was amazing.
I'm telling you, if you like this album, check out their older stuff, especially their 2012 album. I can't remember its name, but Shadow Moses, fucking Throw Me to the Wolves, whatever. Can't remember the actual names, but it's full fucking hype. Their music gets me hype as shit, and this is definitely my hype music.
Yeah, for sure. This is total hype. So I guess I'll go into my list. I have like I think 8 albums I'm looking at right now. No really particular order because a lot of them I have rated as 10 out of 10, and then they're all really good, and I have tons of songs added. But I'll go with this first one. I Disagree by Poppy. It is sludge pop.
That sounds bad, but it's not. It's really fucking good.
It's not. It's real. It's like literally somebody who listens to too much baby metal. Poppy is like really defined herself with this out. Like, man, it was just it started off the year really well, and it was really fucking good. It's heavy. It's hard. Like I said, it's sludge pop. Really good. Recommend it. Dreamland by Glass Animals. You know, I gush and love this album so much, and I love Glass Animals, and this originally was supposed to come out on my birthday, but they pushed it for very good reasons, and the wait was, you know, worth it because goddamn, I added pretty much every song except for the little home video interludes or whatever, but other than that, it's amazing. I recommend it. It's like Cody describes it perfectly in our chat about their albums, which all their albums kind of represent summer, but like different kinds of summer. Like the first one, Zaba, very sweaty, stinky, tropical. The second one, How to Be a Human Being, kind of dry, kind of like a road trip, I guess. Is vibe. I can't remember exactly what he says. Cody did a real good job. And then this one is like nostalgic, which that was kind of the whole thing with this album, being in nostalgia and kind of breaking certain mindsets and stuff like that. It's very good. I recommend Glass Animals wholeheartedly. I wish we could go see another one of their concerts.
Yeah, maybe we'll be able to see their concert in 3 years.
Yeah, maybe. Already talked about RTJ4. You know it. It's fucking fantastic. Already talked about Visions of Bodies Being Burned, Post-Human Survival Horror. So I got this other one. It was I've heard a little bit of her work with Oblivion Community Center, I think is what her band is. I gotta look it up real quick. But this album is her own, and it's Phoebe Bridgers' Punisher. And I was really surprised by how good this was. It's kind of country, but it's definitely you're getting kind of folk, country influences. I saw somewhere where it was like Americana. Yeah, she was with Better Oblivion Community Center. This album was very, I need to look more into it. It was definitely very somber, quiet, really sad. I can't get enough of the first song, which is Garden Song. It like gets tears in my eye. It's so good. I really recommend this album and its aesthetic. Really enjoyed it. Another one, a classic band a lot of us love here. Colt mentioned them.
AC/DC.
Cut the podcast. We're done. No, stop it right now. Wow. I'm not getting AC/DC will never, ever get a spot on this podcast. As long as I'm alive, it will never get a spot in.
Oh,
never.
You won't have to worry about that one.
No, the band I'm talking about is Gorillaz. You know, and it's so funny because me and Colt are on 2 different spectrums of this album. It's Song Machine Season 1 Strange Times. When this album came out,
yes,
I think I added almost every song to my playlist because goddamn, it is amazing. You know, Gorillaz has been dropping singles for this album all throughout the year, and they've just been banger after banger after banger. Not banger as in like head banging or really hard. There's a song in there like Désolé, which is very sad. Beautiful music, really just good like collaborations with all these different artists. I mean, you have JPEG Mafia, Unknown Mortal Orchestra, Saint Vincent.
Beautiful.
It completely threw me off. I was like, holy crap, these are all of my favorite artists, and they're working with Gorillaz. This is insane. And all the songs were fantastic. I really, really like this. And if you really like Gorillaz, I give this the highest recommendation. This is one of my favorite of their albums. It's really good.
As a Gorillaz fan, I just want to go ahead and throw out my opinion on this album because Gorillaz is my favorite band. I love Gorillaz. This is my least favorite Gorillaz album post their comeback. Post A Melancholy Hill. Or Plastic Beach. It was good. It had some really good songs. I think a lot of the singles they released were their best songs. But when they finally did the full release, I didn't care for a lot of them. It's a good album, but I was a little sad when it dropped because I was hoping I'd like more of it.
Well, I remember you mentioning specifically how kind of awkward the Elton John feature song was.
Yeah, I can tell you what was so awkward about it is that Elton John part was pretty damn good. The one thing I didn't like was the artist Six Lack, which is black. His part doesn't really mesh well with Elton John. It's auto-tuned singing that I don't like at all. I do like some of his music. It's just that he does not mesh well with Elton John.
No, you're right. Do they not just say his name is Black?
I think it is Black, but it's Six Lack. The B is a 6.
Because if he said just Black and you didn't know, it's like, I've never heard of an artist called Black. He'd be like, Six Lack stylized as Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree with Cole. That was like that song and a song featuring a guy, Octavian. Those were the only two songs I didn't add to my playlist. Octavian's, it wasn't bad, it was just kind of on the lower end, and that song, the one with Elton John, was like my least favorite song, just because, like you said, Black's part just doesn't fit in there. It's really weird, like really awkward. Other than that, the album for me is just a huge hit. One of the best this year.
If you check out any of the tracks, check out Desolate.
If you check out, I can recommend you them. Valley of the Pagans, Desolate, Momentary Bliss, Pac-Man.
I was thinking single track. Just.
Yeah, okay, just saying. But anyway, moving on. There was actually, let me see something real quick. There's actually one more album, but it's not on my top favorite, but it was one of my favorites. I got to talk about, but. Or two. My last one that like I have in my top, but it doesn't matter, is Alphaville by Imperial Triumphant. Imperial Triumphant was one that really caught me off guard because I listened to their album last year, the year before. I think it was 2018. I can't remember, but I didn't like it. It was just a lot of noise. Didn't do anything for me. But this, I really, really enjoyed. It's like another album where I've added every song, and I mean, there's not that many songs on it anyway. But like, this is like avant-garde jazz metal. It really caught me off guard. It's really, really good, and I really like the themes of it. It get me some huge like dystopia, Metropolis vibes. If you want to listen to something experimental. And like, and also another thing too, each track they really change it up with their instrumentals. It's really fucking good. If you want something really experimental, I'd say give this a go. Really good. And then another ones that aren't like, I actually have a scoring system. Those ones I mentioned were like all 9s or 10s. These ones are 8. There's 2 of them. Unlocked by Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats was an album I really, really enjoyed from them. It was short and sweet, really nice. I just wish it was a little longer. The Long Goodbye by Riz Ahmed. That one, it was really good. It was just, it was kind of a tough sell because the whole album was kind of like him comparing Brexit to like a bad breakup, but it worked. It was really good. And then Strokes' new album was fantastic as well. Yeah, that's all I have for music. I want to listen to some more albums because we still got, at the time we're recording this, we'll still got several days left of the year, so I definitely want to listen to some more and then, probably change up my list towards the end when this releases.
Hell yeah. I got a few albums like Colt mentioned and Wenzel, Run the Jewels 4. Not going to beat that dead horse. Really fucking great album. These are not in any particular order. My sort of basic bitch one album was, I really like The Weeknd's new album that came out this year, After Hours.
Oh shit, that did come out this year. Oh, damn.
Oh shit, that did come out. Yeah,
That was a really good album.
dude, that album was crazy good. And I haven't listened to this album, but goddamn, I love Blinding Lights, man. I can't get enough of that song.
Yeah, it came out in like March, like right as the pandemic was happening. In this, yeah, and like I'm usually not one for like '80s throwbacks, but I don't know, just the songwriting, those little synths, fucking gets me hard. I really dug it.
I still go wild for Starboy.
Oh my god!
I played that one like nuts this year. Don't feel bad.
And like I like The Weeknd, all right. Like, but I would never go out of my way to listen to him. But then like this album, I'm like, fucking shit. This was a fucking banger.
Did y'all hear the rumor that he might be doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl next year?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that would be
Wow.
That's a strong rumor.
All I know is it's going to be horny as hell because The Weeknd is just horny.
That he is. This isn't an album, but a band I used to listen to a while ago, but sort of fall off with, was this deathcore band called Legion. They did a cover of Yes's Roundabout.
Okay.
And if you don't know that song, it's the part one JoJo, the bass line that everyone knows from the To Be Continued.
And then nobody realized the song is fucking 8 minutes long.
Oh, and it's fucking great.
It's really good.
And this version's really fucking good. I really enjoy it. Like, cause Liz showed it to me, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I remember this band." And then when they did the cover, I was like, "Oh shit, this is actually surprising that they would do this." Code Orange's new album, Underneath, was really fucking good. It's this really cool like metalcore stuff. Has this like these weird glitchy moments in it, which was really cool. Like there were a couple times where I was like, "Oh shit, is my Spotify fucking up?" Oh, it's just the album. So yeah, like if you're into that sort of thing, I highly recommend that. This one's also not an album, but System of a Down made a comeback this year.
Yeah.
And with 2 new songs. I don't have them offhand, but it could just be that, I'm like just deprived of System of a Down, but like I thought they were pretty good.
It's real fucking good. Surge came out of that weird retirement of movie soundtracks to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're all like different side projects and solo careers, and hopefully the drummer stops being a fucking MAGA chud. which I don't understand, because all their music is like Rage Against the Machine levels of left. I just don't. That's a fucking rant for another time. But yeah,
Every time System of a Down gets brought up, all I can think of is Surge Surge, his solo tanking.
Yeah,
his solo career. The sky is over. I can't get that out of my head. It's gonna be in my head for the next few hours.
Oh my god, I remember when that album came out, and they like Fuse TV just played that and Empty Walls on repeat.
It's not bad. It's just
It's repetitive. And then when you hear it all the time. Thundercat came out with an album this year that was really fucking good.
Yes.
It Is What It Is.
It is what it is.
Like, he's an artist I've been really getting into, because I've been starting to get into more just like, not only just like classic jazz, but also modern stuff. And he is just like a fucking killer bassist. Like, just see this dude go fucking nuts.
He's also really funny on Twitter. He does do some wild shit.
He's fucking hilarious. I mean, and his music's fucking hilarious too. Like, Dragon Ball Durag is like fucking hilarious.
That's true.
Oh yeah,
but it's such a fucking bop. And then, lastly, for a band from this year, is a band called Undeath, which is they're kind of like a throwback to like late 80s, early 90s classic death metal, with their album Legions of a Different Kind. And God, is this album just fucking sick, brutal. If you're into that shit, I highly recommend it. They got a song. What was the name of it? Hold on, let me find it on my Spotify right quick. It's just like the most metal fucking song names. Kicked in the Protruding Guts.
Okay.
Suitably Hacked to Gore.
Yeah, this is metal right here.
Chained to a Reeking Rotting Body.
It sounds like censored versions of Cannibal Corpse songs.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's giving me some Cannibal Corpse energy.
Yeah,
Because Cannibal Corpse is like testicle smashed with bitch ass handsaw or something.
Oh my god, yeah, it's like fucked with a knife. Like, I think there's like one song that's called like entrails pulled through a virgin's cunt or something like that.
It's like it's just a bit. We all try to think of a make up a Cannibal Corpse song title.
That's a good bit though, Pat. Holy shit.
Wenzel, you can do it. It's simple. Just think of a terrible act, but then add something weird with it.
I got one. Cunnilingus with a cheese grater.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's basically the album art for Tomb of the Mutilated.
I'm getting teary-eyed.
Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying.
Wenzel's crying. Oh my god.
He is touched.
No, because it's such. I get really emotional for weird coincidences. I don't know why. It's something my body reacts to. Because that. Well, I'll talk about it later. I read something that was so fucking disgusting, and I loved it. But I will say this.
Did you read a story about somebody's pussy going in a cheese grater?
No. I'm trying to think. Cannibal Corpse song right now. Slaughterhouse. Cow fuck session.
Yeah, there you go. I'll throw in another one. Cow clitoris cut in half by katana.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Yeah, yes. I mean, basically that. But, yeah, I mean, it's very old school, like, more that brutal Cannibal Corpse style death metal.
So I'd probably fucking hate
Oh, yeah,
it.
you'd probably fucking hate it. But I will say, like, the production's a lot cleaner than those, like, because, like, those late 80s, especially the late 80s albums from, like, Morbid Angel and all those bands.
Yeah.
And Death and all, like, God, production, not that great, but the production's really clean, the band's really tight, super sick. That's all the 2020 music I have.
Okay, that's interesting because I was gonna say Imperial Triumphant. When I first heard them, I didn't like the album just because it just seemed like a lot of noise that was just mashing together. You know, the production just didn't sound good. But for their newest album this year that came out this year, really solid production. Like you can discern a lot of the sounds in there. So that's interesting. I'll definitely have to check that out.
And just like, and I feel like I've had that sort of experience with a lot of extreme metal, because I remember like growing up, you know, listening to, whatever band I was listening to at the time, I'd find some like harder shit. I'd be like, this fucking sucks. Why do people listen to this? And then like 2 to 5 years later, that band will be my favorite band.
It's kind of like, well, to be honest, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, it kind of, like, when I first heard them, I liked them instantly. I was going to say, it kind of reminds me of Death Grips, you know? Like, because it's so...
Oh, yeah. Like, I remember listening to The Money Store for the first time and just being like, I don't like this. This is weird. But, like, there was something about it that really just brought me back to it. And then I took a trip to New York a few years ago, and that was just basically all I listened to was Death Grips, and it was something about being in like just dirty ass New York,
just the chaos of New York,
and just like
Death Grips. If it's anywhere, it's New York.
Just listen like I don't know, it's just fucking great.
I break mirrors with my face in the United States.
Hey, States, yes. Oh God, Jenny Death is so good.
But I'm also getting flashbacks of when we watched Midnight Cowboy the other day and just how fucking disgusting New York is.
It's still disgusting.
Yep.
Oh, it.
1970s New York was a goddamn apocalypse wasteland.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
watch like Midnight Cowboy or The Warriors. That's basically how New York is. Like, I feel like every time we got back to our hotel, I just had to spend like 15 minutes scrubbing my hands from just like, I don't know if I touched something on the subway sort of thing.
It's like, no offense to our big city living folks, like New York listeners, where the hell you are.
I feel like they'd probably agree.
I mean, people, they say they love New York, New Yorkers, but like, I can't.
Where
live
would
in big
people
city.
go? Where do people without bodegas go, Pat? Where do you go to get Coca-Cola, some Mentos, and some toilet paper? Nowhere else but a bodega.
Dollar General.
Why the fuck did he just turn into like a fucking southern crack addict?
I don't know. I was channeling a New Yorker, and that came out.
The only reason I like Bodega is for the Twitter account Bodega Cats. That's a good account.
Oh, that's a good account. Yeah. I was just gonna say something else, a little more about music. There was actually a song that I didn't check out until recently that I love and I can't stop listening to, and the music video that goes along with it is fantastic. Sick of Being Honest by Milk Blood. Holy shit, I cannot get enough of that. And the music video, man, Trevor Henderson's Monster is just fantastic, and Casey Fry doing the dancing for that is just incredible.
We all musiced out, boys.
I believe so.
We all musiced. We musiced in ourselves.
Good music, everybody. Good music.
Got a lot of good things to listen to from AYCH recommendations. Before we go to our next big topic, we'll go to one of our smaller ones, and we'll be discussing, just in turn, whatever comes to mind, our most anticipated things for 2021.
I'm going last.
All right, what are we all looking forward to next year, outside of finally escaping our homes and interacting with human beings again?
I wouldn't hold my breath on that.
The thing is, Pat, I'm looking forward to escaping. I want out of this rat room. I want to go outside and eat cheese. I want to eat cheese.
I put outside.
In a very nice place. And have fun eating that cheese and being happy because I'm with my friends eating very nice cheese. And then I get to give them handshakes and I get to be happy again.
And then we get to cough in each other's faces.
Yes.
Me and the boys, when we're finally out of court, just just like spewing glitter coughs at people.
Hey, Pat.
I miss the good old piss hand joke that I could do. You can't do the piss hand joke anymore. Like, you can't, like, you know the piss hand joke where you go to the bathroom and you say, "Oh, I forgot to wash my hands," and you really washed your hands, and then you rub them on your friend and they're all wet and they're like, "Oh my god, did you get piss on me?" And you're like, "No, I washed my hands."
But did I?
But I'd actually piss on my hands. Man, can't do it anymore.
Yeah, you just didn't dry them. Yeah, that's the joke. Good sir, may I use your bathroom?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Watch Tim Robinson's episode of The Characters.
That's a
and
bit
you'll
just for
understand.
us. Just for us, right, guys?
Like, all the things I'm anticipating, I don't know when they're gonna drop. Like Gundam Hathaway's Flash. I've been wanting to watch that movie. It was supposed to come out this summer in Japan,
Hathaway's
but now
Flash.
it's going to be released sometime next year. Same thing with Evangelion 4.0 or
3.0 plus 1.0.
Yeah.
Why are they doing this? It shouldn't be this
That's some
complicated.
Kingdom Hearts shit.
It's okay. It's 1.0 plus 3.0.
It really is Kingdom Hearts bullshit, and I love that stuff, but at the same time, I hate it. Like movies, video games,
I don't get it.
all that
I don't
stuff
get it.
up in the air. No guarantees. We're all fucked, and we're going deeper into the fuck hole with people parading around Target saying, "Off with masks. I will not be oppressed with this stinky little mask. Fuck you, stinky bitch. I hate you."
We could have been having the banging this ass 2020 if people just got their goddamn head on.
Whoa, Cole.
All the big holidays, they were on a fucking weekend, and we could have been just turned all the way up. But then no, we had to get here drunk in our house instead of drunk in the street.
I saw Jonathan and Pat for the first time in 10 months after everyone in our group made sure we had COVID tested, quarantined, and make sure we were all good to go. I saw them for the first time in 10 fucking months for 12 hours, and I probably won't see them again for another 10 months because of this bullshit.
So thank you again, you guys, MAGA, Trump, supporting, mother.
Let me out of this house. Let me go eat cheese.
Bitch, rat,
He
stupid,
Let
dirty
the man
rat.
eat the fucking cheese.
Great ideas for a boys' pick. We all are cozily around one wheel of cheese, eating it at the same time, looking at the camera.
All right.
Great bit. Write it down.
TM.
That's a good. Okay. I have some stuff I'm anticipating. Far Cry 6 comes out February 18th. Really excited for that.
I am excited for that, but I'm thinking it might get delayed.
Probably,
Ooh, yeah.
but I'm just going off as what we can get. Deathloop, May 21st.
Yeah.
Little Nightmares 2, February 11th.
I'm excited to try that co-op.
Yeah, hell yeah. Near Replicant, April 23rd.
Gonna go hard. Get that Yogotaro madness.
Halo Infinite, supposedly come out in the fall.
I wouldn't hold that.
Let him have this.
Let the man dream.
Colt, let me be excited for something. Come on. And and the thing is too is like also besides video games, I have some other things. Those actually have dates or areas. My Hero Academia season 5 supposedly coming the spring, hopefully. Really excited for that. Also the third My Hero movie coming this summer, I think.
Already?
Yeah, it said 2021, so yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how they top My Hero movie 2, because that final sequence, fuck.
I don't know. And
It was insane.
we get the Three Musketeers now, which is full on Bakugo, Deku, and Todoroki. Like, it's fucking crazy.
It's gonna be the Mission Impossible, but
So
My
many
Hero.
theories. I love it. Chainsaw Man anime. We're supposed to be getting that next year. Really hoping it's I hope it's traditional animation.
Yeah, I hope it's not 3D CG, but if it is, do it like Dorohedoro.
Yeah,
Does it look
yeah,
good?
I'll take it. Oh yeah, I actually forgot another game. Resident Evil Village. Really excited for that.
Resident Evil 8, baby.
That's gonna be fun.
I'm so excited for Chris Redfield to break in my house and kill my wife in front of me. It's gonna be so good.
I'm so excited for Chris Redfield to punch a boulder again.
Chris
If
Redfield.
he doesn't punch a boulder I'm gonna ask for my money back.
I hope there's a scene where he begs me to at least talk to his sister to maybe court her.
Have we talked about this bit before?
We have talked about
Yeah,
it.
you talked about this bit before.
Okay, because Colt, I keep forgetting it's a thing. Colt will be playing a game, and Colt will just be like, hey, I'm Chris Redfield. Can you fuck my sister, please? And I'm like, what? It's good. I love
It's
it.
a meme. I'm not going insane. I'm not going stir crazy because I haven't left the house except for work.
Stir crazy.
I am going stir crazy. I swear to God. I just don't know what time is anymore.
Time has no effect on us, to be honest, and that's okay because I will become a god. Anyway, a game I will constantly reference because I want it to come out so bad, and I hope it doesn't die, is Atomic Heart.
Please.
Because I remember I was so excited for a game called Routine, never came out. It's a dead project. This, they've been releasing stuff, and I really hope it comes out. Please, God, please. And
Another good thing about it is the music's being done by Mick Gordon, the person who did Doom Eternal and Doom.
Yep.
Except Doom and Turtles iffy. There's weird stuff. But he did original Doom.
Yes. So that's exciting. And then beyond that, we have some movies because fuck you again, Trump, MAGA, all you bullshit motherfucking rats.
How about this?
Took that away.
Suck my nuts. How about that? Put that on a hat.
Took that away from us. Anyway, we got a date. I can't remember what it was. It's summer for the Green Knight.
I'm not. That is not solid in my head anymore. Mm-mm.
I've given up, so it's fine. I just want to see it someday. Saint Maud, really want to see that. Antlers, really want to see Antlers, but that's been delayed indefinitely. Who knows? Physical releases, got some Gunpla coming out, which is cool. Real Grade, Neo
No, not Neo
Zhong.
That's the big ass bitch. That's the Nanju pilots in Gundam Unicorn and in Gundam Narrative.
Oh my god, Real
We're
Grade.
talking
Oh my
the
god,
Zhong.
oh my god, suck my nuts.
I'm not convinced any of them said their words just then.
No, they said words. I just don't know if put together they actually mean anything.
It might as well have been gibberish.
Anyway, it's a Real Grade, and we're both excited for it. Fuck you, Colt.
It looks beautiful. I'm very excited for it.
And another physical thing is we're getting Criterion Collection's Crash, which is a movie based off of a novel by J.G. Ballard. I've heard good things. It was directed by Cronenberg? Yes, Cronenberg. I'm fairly certain.
Okay, I was like, he's not talking about the 2005 Crash, is he? And then it was like, oh,
Is that the one with Hardy?
no. Crash is infamous for probably the worst Best Picture winner at the Oscars in 2005. It apparently it's bad.
Yeah, no, the Crash I'm talking about is from 1996, directed by David Crow. And it's pretty crazy from what I'm hearing Criterion's doing its special treatment for it. And then also whenever they announced some movies from last year that got the Criterion, there's like four. It was The Irishman, Parasite, Marriage Story, and then another one called Atlantiques, and that was available, I think, on Netflix, but then it was taken off, so now you can't find it anywhere, but Criterion said, hey, it's getting a physical Criterion version, so I'm still holding out for that. I'm really excited for that as well. I think that's everything I have for being anticipated for.
Also, Real Grade Ava 08. I need that little pink bastard. I have every single Real Grade Ava. Might as well cover it. Real Grade Avas. I fucking love them, dude. They're amazing. They're some of the best kits you can get. That's all my thing from the Real Grade Avas. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. That's all I anticipated for. I'm not going to hold my breath because if I do, I'll die. Probably none of this stuff is going to come out. I don't know.
Hope for the best, expect the worst. Most of mine are movies. One of my big movies I want to see. I guess I wish I had just keep up with all the movies they rescheduled for 2021. Basically, but just like Candyman and Dune, like big movies that's supposed to come out this year that rescheduled next year. Just hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopeful.
I'm hoping Dune comes on HBO Max. Unless Christopher Nolan breaks into my house and stops me from watching it, I will watch it on HBO Max.
Godzilla versus Kong, that's going to be fun. Green Knight, of course, because that was one of the Andy movies all of us really excited about. I really want to check out the Demon Slayer movie that came out this year that just shattered Japanese box office records.
Yeah, you got to watch the anime first, Wenzel.
Yeah, I know.
And I there's literally nothing about this movie except for a single still image, but it's still slated for a 2021 release. Hopefully, just knowing Hideaki Anno, who the fuck knows if it'll actually happen. But his Shin Ultraman movie, basically, he'll be doing a sort of reinterpretation of Ultraman in the same fashion that he did Godzilla with Shin Godzilla. And because Ultraman had just a fucking phenomenal year with it. I'll get into it in the Lad's Choice segment. But I'm very excited to find out what he does with Shin Ultraman. Shin Godzilla, a great movie. Definitely check it out. Some of the craziest kaiju action in it, but also some real fucking frustrations with how humans can be, especially fucking bureaucracy in the government. So I'm really interested in catching that.
I have some bad news for you, Pat. I don't think that's going to come out anytime soon, considering it's Hideaki Anno.
I mean, I know that, but
Fingers crossed.
Let me foolishly wish. I mean, hell, Evangelion 4.0 6258 over 3 days.
1.0 plus 3.0, Pat. It's simple math.
This is only coming out now. So, and it took 3.0 came out in 2012. Then Godzilla came out in 2016. And now this one's out in 2021. It's supposed to come out last year. No, wait, it's not supposed to come out last year. It's supposed to come out this year. I forgot. It's still 2020. I don't expect that movie till 2026 at the earliest.
You know, it's sorry. I was just gonna say it's funny because I've still been getting it wrong. It's 3.0 plus 1.0, thrice upon a time.
And then you got the 1.11 for other things. I don't know what you're doing, Hideaki Anno. I don't know math. Do something simple.
Yeah, and also when you're having a depressive episode, just take some time off. Don't continue to make your thing when your brain is literally oozing out of your ears. Okay, I'm sorry.
Please take a break.
Mental health, self-care.
I love your work. I don't want you to go the route of Satoshi Kon, even though you are older than him. I just don't want you to die. I want you to live forever.
I think that's sort of heads and tails of my most anticipated for 2021. John, do you have something you're looking forward to for next year?
Yeah, so we can yell, be sad.
Okay, I'm a simple person. I only got one thing I'm really excited for.
Okay.
And it's going to happen pretty early in the year. Trump fucking leaving office.
Oh, yeah?
That's my most anticipated thing. Suck my ass, you stupid fat motherfucker. But yeah, fuck Trump. Fuck the Proud Boys. Fuck MAGA.
All right, so we had a little break from our bigger discussions. I guess now it's time to dive back into that. And our next big award, we're talking about the best video games of 2020. Now, I'm going to sort of hand over this part of the show to the rest of the boys because I've only really played one game, and that is Animal Crossing. I had a great time. It was light and it's fun, but there's obviously a lot more games that came out beyond that. So I'm going to relinquish that and let the next one take over.
All right. This year has been a pretty damn good year for video games. It was the final year for last gen. The PlayStation 4 and the Xbox Ones, they're gone. They're dead. Taken out back and shot by Microsoft and Sony. And they also, in 2020, gave birth to the beautiful consoles known as the Xbox Series X, not S,
Yep.
and the PlayStation 5. Both beautiful, powerful consoles. PlayStation 5 sexier, but they're both beautiful. The games that we got this year, I'm just going to go ahead and give my top 5 and a little bit of reasoning, and then I'll have some extra games to go down the road. I've played a fuck ton of games this year. I've put probably more hours into video games this year than any other year, due to obvious reasons, COVID. And it's been a good way to just lose time and forget about it all for a little bit at a time, a few hours at a time. Number 5, my 5th favorite game of the year, is Resident Evil 3 Remake. It's a really, really fun game. I breezed through it in like 3 hours, or 3 to 5 hours, and it was still super fun. It was a $60 game, which I was a little weird about, but I still enjoyed my time with it. It's a great game. Resident Evil 2 Remake is better, but it's still really good. Number 4, Astro's Playroom, which is essentially a demo for the PlayStation 5 to show off the DualSense, and just the history of PlayStation. It had Easter eggs from every single PlayStation series you can think of, even the obscure ones that you think, wow, I thought Sony just forgot about that, or something like that. They also have like controllers, relics, and themed levels. Just going to the PlayStation 3 world, where at the very end you get your PlayStation 3 relic. Just hearing that home menu music made me very nostalgic and very just like remembering being a little kid, getting my PlayStation 3 for Christmas, and playing Soul Calibur 4. And then that continues into the PlayStation 4 world, which I was weirdly nostalgic for as well. It's only 7 years ago. I said that to myself, thinking, oh shit, this is 7 years ago. PlayStation 4 came out in 2013, so it's had enough time to just sit in my brain and make me really emotional hearing that PlayStation 4 home menu. Third favorite game, Ghost of Tsushima. Fantastic game. Its gameplay loop's very good. I don't want to say too much about its story because spoilers. Second favorite game of the year, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That's like the only game on my list, and
yeah, this is the game that Jonathan and I were very much so looking forward to. Jonathan more so because he is a Final Fantasy lover. He loves that shit.
And God, FF7 Remake was so good up until the last 30 minutes. And it doesn't ruin the rest of the game, but fuck does that last 30 minutes just fucking blow.
I don't understand your hate for the last 30 minutes, Jonathan. I just don't. I think it's very good. And the fact that it's leading into the second part, it has me more curious. It was a very good setup in my eyes to see the rest of Midgar.
The rest of
world?
Gaia. But like,
yes.
The thing is like, it's not that it's different, because if I'm all for changing things up and it being different, as long as it's interesting. But you take a game that has these really awesome themes about life and death and just like human connections and blah, 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 and just reduce it down to this very like bland Destiny / meta thing. That's just, at least, and this is just me, but I was completely bored with it. Was like, because like I kind of called it like a halfway through, because there's like hints of where it's leading to, and then I'm like, it'd be kind of funny if they did this thing. I was like, they wouldn't do that. Oh, they're doing it. This sucks. This really fucking blows. And like characters who are supposed to be dead are alive, and it's just like, I'm really anxious to see where it goes, and like it, like honestly, the next game could be fucking great and just blow things out of the water. However, I am very scared, because if they continue in sort of this direction, I don't know how I'm going to like that. But that's just me as sort of like a Final Fantasy VII super fan. So take what I say with a grain of salt.
As someone who's never completed Final Fantasy VII Original, I went into this, loved the ending, loved the story, and I know the gist of the original Final Fantasy game. I don't know all the story. I just know pretty much big key points and things about characters. I'm hoping that they switch it up. I like the switching it up, because it throws something new at you, I guess. It's not the same experience. I like the new things getting thrown at us. I'm hoping somehow Aerith doesn't die. I'm praying, actually. I really want this to where Aerith doesn't die, because I love her so much and I don't want her to die.
As heartless as this going to sound, if they do that, I'm going to be mad. Because that's completely antithetical to what that game is supposed to be about. But that's just me being a nitpicky bastard. And the thing is I don't mind shit being different. It can be different as long as what you do is interesting. And to me, what they've shown so far is not really interesting. It's kind of like, you took this thing that's really fucking great, and then you just kind of water it down. And it's just kind of like, okay, fine.
And plus, I remember you mentioned earlier when we were talking about Final Fantasy VII, like you would be more just sort of adjustment to the story of Final Fantasy VII wouldn't be as unpalatable for you if we had got like a another like souped up remade version of Final Fantasy VII before this one.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, all they have to change with the original one is just redo the English script, because the English script is fucking garbage for the PS1, and the PC version's even worse. Sorry, I got a candy cane in my mouth. But yeah, if there was just like, because if they had that like a good translation of the English version, I would not be complaining about this, really, because I may not like what they're doing, but I'll have the other game to go back to. But part of the thing I was looking forward to with this one was them sort of going back to it and redoing it and souping it up and fleshing things out. And for this game, that's what they did. However, the way the ending is, I don't know if that's the direction they're going to go. Because it's like, not to get super... I'm not going to spoil it. But, yeah. I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent. But
yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I absolutely loved it. It's my second favorite game of the year.
And that being said, besides that ending, the game is fucking great. I love the fucking combat. It's so fun.
Beautiful. Every single person is beautiful. It's crazy. Rufus is beautiful.
Oh my! I was not ready for Rufus to be hot. Okay, I was not ready for that. I was like, oh wait, what? Okay.
And then you have an amazing fight on top of the fucking tower, and he's just like, shooting coins.
Oh my god!
And shit.
Like,
damn.
Oh, that was so fucking cool. Because like the original fight in the game, and granted, it's a PS1 game, early PS1 game, so they're very limited in what they could do. However, how they interpret that for the remake was just like anime as fuck in the best way possible, and I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, that's all. Final Fantasy VII Remake, very good. Number 1. It's a hot area. I know a lot of people are mad about this. The Game Awards and other places. Favorite game of the year was The Last of Us 2. Or The Last of Us Chapter 2. I don't remember. Part 2. Fuck! Not chapter. Part 2. I absolutely loved this game. It ripped me apart, put me together, ripped me apart again, and then left me on the road. There's a lot about this game I've seen on the internet, and man, I don't understand a lot of the hate for this game. I understand the people that aren't into the violence, how brutal it is. I understand that part. But I'm not so understanding of the story routes. Or like, Joel dies. He dies in the first hour of the game. And as soon as he dies, that's the thing that everybody's mad about. Like, oh my god, you can't kill my male character like that. You can't just let him be killed by this woman that I've never met in this game's history. You just can't do that.
Yeah, of all the criticism, like, I haven't played the game, but of all the criticisms, that's the one where I'm like, that's the hill you want to die on? Is just that Joel died and that's it?
I think that's a great way to set it up. It doesn't do anything too crazy with like telling us a new type of story. It's a revenge story. It's about Ellie trying to get revenge, and then on the person who got revenge on Joel. So it's just a revenge story. So Ellie's story, the way it ends, it's fucking brutal. And then it proceeds to throw you into Abby, the character that killed Joel, and so you're understanding what she's done, and how she did it to get to where she killed Joel. So you're not as mad at her, you're just sad, and you want to cry. I understand her actions, and in the end, I realize why she did it. But fuck, man, it's a rough thing. Anybody else want to jump in on The Last of Us 2? I know every week recorded a Last of Us 2 episode. I'm waiting on Wenzel to help me out here.
What do you want me to say? I talked.
Well, we did record a full episode talking ins and outs of The Last of Us. Unfortunately, there just was a issue with the recording, and we couldn't salvage it. As kind of heartbreaking as that was, because we really tried hard to get this episode to come out with our friend the show Ellie. She loves the game, loves the series. We had Cannon and Winslow on telling their piece. It was a great conversation. I think it's a great lost episode, but it's in the ether now. But I think just from what I remember them saying, there's a lot of just like really strong emotions in the game, just like from positive to negative, and just this distorted journey takes you. I understand a lot of the criticism, how like you sort of the whole point of the game is the futility of revenge and the destructive power that violence has on inwardly and outwardly. And I think it's a fair criticism to say, like, once you realize sort of like,
this is where it's going.
Yeah, like once you realize violence is bad, you're not really given another option. There's not like after a certain point like a pacifist route, or
just that. The big criticism, I guess, quote, legitimate criticism I heard on my end, and this is coming from someone who's not played the game, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But it's one of those things that's like the game chastises you for enjoying the thing, but it's like, but you're the one who created the game and made it this way,
and this is my only option too.
So why are you chastising me?
It's like, how dare you do this thing, even though this is the only way to proceed.
I see it in a certain way. I'm thinking of it from the point of, I like to watch things that move me. I like to play things that move me, be it happy, sad, mad, anything. Like, I love to cry. I really do. I do it a lot.
I mean, it's true. Back when we started the show, one of our year-end awards was what made Colton cry the most that year.
Last of Us 2 won this year.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
And for a game to elicit such a reaction from not just like you, Colt, but from everyone who's played it, I mean, I don't think that can go unnoticed. I mean,
even people who haven't played it. I mean,
it hit some sort of chord with people, and I think that should be commended.
I would say something, but we covered all this in the last episode, so I'm done talking about it.
So you're not going to talk about it? But,
nah.
What I was going to say.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. I want to talk about it. Of course.
I just want to get this before it's gone, because my brain is very scatterbrained. Another thing that people didn't like was the fact that at the very end of the game, you don't kill Abby. You don't kill Abby in front of her essentially adopted child. What the fuck? Why didn't you bash her brains in front of her child? That's fucked up.
And it's like, that's not the point.
In the end, the point is there's no point. Just to this violence, everyone's going to be dead. It's going to be pain. Nothing but pain, no happiness. You're just going to feel the same sadness, but you killed someone.
I mean, shit. Like, yeah, the world's already fucked. Why make it worse? Especially with this, God, man. Especially with Lev. It's so heartbreaking with what's happened to him and with what's happened to Abby. And I mean, we talked about this, Abby and Lev, I mean, they mirror Joel and Ellie, obviously. That was the whole point. And in a way, that's kind of her redemption. And, we don't know if Ellie saw that, could be, but like to kind of just, I don't know, like, then what happens to Lev? Lev either dies right there, or Ellie has to kill her, or has to kill him, Jesus, after killing Abby. And it's like, so you want Ellie to get done strangling Abby, to go there and slit Lev's throat? Like, is that really what you want?
Because you're just going to create another person that wants revenge on you. Lev's going to go after Ellie after Abby's dead unless someone breaks the cycle.
Unless Ellie killed Lev right then and there, or somebody came along and was like, "Hey, see this little kid? Let's
but that's
kill him."
not like Ellie. Lev didn't do shit to Ellie.
Well, remember, I mean, Ellie did threaten Lev and was like, "I'll kill him," and Abby was like, "He's not a part of this," and Ellie was like, "You made him a part of this," which is using the same words that Abby used whenever she was about to kill Dina, and she would have done it too,
Yeah.
but Lev was one of the. I don't know. We're talking about hypotheticals right now, so definitely wouldn't happen. But like you said, it would have created. It was just a cycle. It was just a cycle of violence. And the thing is that we talked about how this game gives you the only option of violence, and it chastises you. And that's the thing, is that it's like a weird where, like, okay, if you had the pacifist run, then you wouldn't get the message, or you wouldn't understand what's about.
It's telling one story. It's a linear path. It's not an RPG. It's an action story. Overall, they want to tell you this one path. They don't want any other variations.
They have to tell you it in this way, and that totally makes sense, and that works, and it definitely worked for me because it made me feel bad. And this game, I mean, if you haven't been able to tell, this is my number one as well for anybody listening. It was just absolutely fantastic, especially with what I had to say. Also, it's just funny because I'm kind of glad too, because it ousted like so many fucking transphobes. Like, fuck you guys, fuck TERFs, man.
They were very just
like
bad, just bad. Like they were just saying because Abby has a muscular build, it's not traditional femme build. They're like, oh my god, look at this. I don't want to say it because it's fucking offensive. They're just being very rude.
But Colt, why femoid muscular?
They also bring up the, like, there's not enough protein in this environment. She cannot get this buff, okay? So she has to be super small and little, tiny baby goth girl, okay? We cannot have a large muscular woman. It's not realistic in the apocalypse.
This
is also the game with fucking zombies.
The woman has to be petite, small, big tits, big ass, makeup, high heels. In the apocalypse.
No woman, no big, no woman always tiny.
I hate gamers.
Waist razor thin, ass mushroom cloud.
Ba-boom! Big mommy milkers.
I'll say it as I said it in that episode, even though it's lost now. Whenever we get introduced to Lev, oh my god, in Yara, I'm like, I was literally, when I was playing as Abby, is like, I am buff mom, you are son and daughter.
That's pretty much what it was until rest in peace, Yara.
Yeah. Rest in peace. God damn. Sad game. Love it.
Very sad game. Will make you cry. Not for everyone. I understand that. And if you dislike it just because Joel was off, fuck you. And if you dislike it because
what
of
was gonna
non-traditional
happen?
feminine things, go fuck yourself. Joel's old. He was 40-something, going on 50.
And he made so many enemies. Like, of course he was going to get offed. What do you think was going to happen? That shit catches up, bro.
Yeah, that's my game of the year. That's my 2020 games. But that's not all the games are played, because we played a lot of games this year. I'm going to cover the rest of 2020 games that I thought were pretty fun. 13 Sentinels, very good game. It's essentially a visual novel done by the people who've done Dragon's Crown, which I've brought up in a past episode before. Very fun. Very good. Fortnite weirdly came back. I should say that for later. Animal Crossing. It was a very fun time this March. Last March. We played it. The whole world played Animal Crossing for a month, and then only the hardcore fans really stuck with it. I'm afraid to start up my Animal Crossing town because I don't want to see the corpses of all of my dead villagers because I forgot to feed them. It's a fun game. It's an Animal Crossing game. I got what I was expecting from it. I put over 80 hours in it, or close to 80. So I got my money in time's worth. I enjoyed every second. But to go to games that are kind of old, but they got consistent updates, I'm going to go to Fortnite. Fortnite went hard this year. I didn't really play as much as I am now throughout the season because I'm hardcore into it right now because of this new Mando, Master Chief, Kratos.
Master Chief.
But
Fuck.
it's been very consistent, the Fortnite experience. They keep upgrading it, adding new quality of life stuff. It's all around just wild. We got another cool thing this year called the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. This stuff was... I didn't play... What was the first DLC called? Isle of Armor. I did not play it until the the Ice Tundra, Frozen Tundra Crown Tundra came out. And I'm kind of sad I didn't play it until then. But it's very good DLC. I know Sword and Shield is hated by a lot of people, but I thought this DLC was really fun. They added these dens, or raids. What are these raids called?
Raid dens. Max raid dens.
Wenzel and I would shiny hunt. We probably added 50
my bad.
hours shiny hunting.
No, that's called something. Dynamax Adventures. My bad.
Adventures.
I'm sorry.
We've probably shiny hunted in those damn caves for 50 hours. Where it's just me and him on Discord just shooting the shit, killing Pokemon. It was insanely fun, and I've gotten more shinies than I've ever gotten before just from doing this.
No, like legit, like me and Colt had a blast doing that. I've never gotten a shiny like through the game, like catching and stuff. I got them through trades from people, but this was like something else. And we every time we got a shiny, we'd scream. We'd literally scream over Discord because it was just so amazing, man. It was so fun. The DLC was, there's a lot of controversy with that game. But the DLC kind of righted a little bit of that, even though we still did not get all of the Pokemon, and a lot of the Pokemon that if you transfer them over, they're stuck in Pokemon Home Hell. Still, we got a lot of Pokemon. The stories were good. It's all good. It was fun. I've almost completed all the Pokedexes. Nah, I just need a Heracross. Somebody give me a Heracross. That's it.
But I was going to say, Pokemon riding horses now.
Yeah, that's a little baby brain. Little baby deer man.
Little fucking ragdoll looking bitch.
But to cover, they got 2 more games.
Sure you do.
Burp time. Call of Duty. Both Cold War and Modern Warfare. I didn't really touch Modern Warfare that much when it first launched. It took till probably like March this year for me to actually start playing it. It's actually pretty damn fun. I went in when it first launched not liking it because it was fucking shit. I did not like it. But I slowly went to love it until I put ACAB as my clan tag, and then it banned me forever. And I can never play Call of Duty Modern Warfare ever again because it banned me just because I had ACAB as my clan tag. So I can't play Call of Duty Warzone, which just had a huge update adding a bunch of stuff from Cold War. I just can't play that. I just can't play Warzone anymore. I really wish they'd release it as an individual game so I can maybe just play it there. But no, you fucked me. You fucked me, Call of Duty. I do nothing but play your games year after year, and you fucked me. Whatever.
It was so like just. Oh my god, it was so sad.
We
because,
played
like,
weekly. Every single weekend, Winslow and I would play Modern Warfare. I was super excited to play every single weekend. And then, boom, in the middle of August, I'm banned for ACAB clan tag. Probably by some losers with not BLM, White Lives Matters.
Blue Lives Matter.
They'll have stupid shit like that.
Yes.
They're like, ACAB, out of here. Ban that dude. He's never going to be able to play this game ever again. Fuck you.
And the thing is too, it's not like he's not banned anymore.
I contacted support. They said, you're not banned anymore. Why don't you play? Just uninstall, reset your console, do this, blah, blah, blah. Clear your cache. I did all that. Nothing works. I'm like, maybe it's my PS4. I re-downloaded Modern Warfare on my PS5. Still fucked. It's something on their end, and it's fucked and I don't care to contact them anymore, considering that Cold War is out, and I can play Cold War. No issues whatsoever.
And the thing is, too, I contacted them as well. I'm like, hey, my friend can't play. You guys banned him, and he's not banned, but he can't play anymore. Never got a word back. Never. Haven't said shit. Jack shit. Their support is god fucking awful. At first, they start out with automated responses, but to get to talk to actually somebody, it takes for like it took Colt.
It took a month to get somebody on.
It took a month, and
Colt getting shadow banned.
Fucking felt like it.
well, no, he wasn't shadow banned. He was like legit like banned like for 7 days for having ACAB as his clan tag. But then when the ban lifted, there was just some wild glitch where now he can't play Modern Warfare at all.
It said my data is
And it was
corrupt
so
or
sad.
unusable. I even had Wenzel logging in my account, see if he could play it, thinking it was my PS4. No, it's something there.
Yeah, I logged into his account on my PlayStation and I couldn't play it. And I was like, it's them. And me and Colt kind of joke now. We kind of make jokes where like we're the guy working the desk or whatever. And he's like, well, I don't know, man. It has to be you. It can't be us. It has to be on your end.
It's a bunch of raccoons with a keyboard.
It's a bunch of raccoons with keyboards and mics and headsets, and they don't know what the fuck's going on. That's what. That's who we think was working at Activision offices or wherever. It's stupid.
But to talk about good Call of Duty experience, Cold War just came out. I'm enjoying it. I really enjoy the multiplayer. It's pretty damn fun. The zombies experience is really good. Haven't been banned.
Really good.
My clan tag CREM. Hopefully I don't get banned for having Cream as my clan tag. But yeah, Cold War's
Campaign was good.
very fun. The campaign's good. It's not the best Black Ops campaign, but it's good.
No, but it's good. It was fun. I got what I wanted out of it.
But to get to a game that not a lot of people have played for obvious reasons, or not that far into it, Cyberpunk. Oh man,
Here we go.
Cyberpunk.
Boy. All right, let's do it. Let's talk about it.
I am playing on the PS5 because I just got it. It runs good. It runs fine. It's a very pretty game in my opinion. It's just that it crashes every 30 to 45 minutes. Yesterday I got lucky and I was able to play for 3 hours without a crash. But normally it's 30 to 45 minutes. You get a crash. But that's the only issue. A few glitches here and there on PS5. But that's nothing really bad there. But when it comes to everything else, man, I don't know what's going on anymore. Anybody else got any Cyberpunk?
I'll go ahead and talk about it because me and Colt had a long ass discussion before you guys got on about just how like it's so fun. The story is like really superb. The side quests are amazing, but like goddamn, it really destroys your immersion with a lot of these glitches and the crashing. Like Jesus Christ, it's so sad because you know so much has led up to this game and it's not finished, and you know the workers suffered for it, and it's like you know, and it's so funny. There's like fun little glitches where so far I've only had 3 crashes. Like that's a good thing. But there's a good bit in there where if you're in your apartment and you go into your bathroom mirror and like you're supposed to have your clothes on, but for some reason when you open your mirror, it will randomly take off all your clothes and you have no genitals whatsoever, and it is funny. it's so
also
funny.
another, I don't know if it's a glitch or intentional, but whenever you change your clothes, like pants or shirt, you can potentially, just for like a split second, have your dick and balls, titties out. You can just have it all out for that split second. So you can turn off nudity, of course, but I'm not a loser, so I keep it on. But there's a chance that somebody goes by your room, somebody you don't know that well looks in your room through the window, this creepy man outside. He's like, oh my god, is that a dick and or a titty? Fucked up.
On a TV? Like what? That's crazy. Yeah, it's so funny because every time like I'll change my pants, it's like dick, and then it like just swings side to side. I'm like, why? Why? And you would think like, okay, you never wear underwear. That's not true. You have underwear. The game just takes it out for some reason.
They spent all the time on the dick engine. They're not about to let a second of that screen time go to waste.
Yeah, it's man. And there's just like. There's just a lot of other things too. Colts told me he has issues where it crashes and it resets all of his settings.
Which with the newest update that came out like 4 hours ago, apparently they fixed that. So I'm really excited for that.
Well, that's good. I'll be playing sometimes, and Jackie, your friend in the game, he'll walk through everything, and everything gets thrown around. He'll disappear sometimes. Sometimes when I'm trying to check a body or if I'm trying to put it down, they'll crash. Like literally, their body will slam and then get thrown across the room. I'll try to talk to somebody, and instead a person across the room will talk for them. Subtitles stay really small for some reason, no matter how much you try to enlarge them. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? It's all over the place. But man, it's just like. But when you really get going, it's so good.
When it's working fine and good, it's fucking amazing. The way they introduce Keanu Reeves' character, Johnny Silverhand, is so good, and just the intro to this game is really fucking good. I was like freaking out the whole time. All right. It's intro spoilers. Let's just tell you one thing. Do you guys care? It's just one small detail about Johnny Silverhand.
I don't know if I'll ever get to play it, so go ahead.
Jonathan?
Go ahead.
Fire away.
Johnny Silverhand's a terrorist. He nukes a building at the
Wow,
in the
you really go
first
into it.
4 hours. I just wanted to throw that little tidbit out. And it was fucking wild because I didn't pay attention to the stuff they released for press for this game, apparently. Because I wasn't expecting Johnny Silverhand to go from a live show, fun, cool rock experience like punk. Yeah, punk. And he's like, all right, now let's go live out this punk experience. Let's go nuke a building.
Well, I think in the original tabletop game, he's a terror.
It could be, but I don't know shit about the original.
Keep in mind, though, too, he's fighting against a corporation, so...
Oh, yes, it's still not good.
Yeah, a terrorist is...
Yeah, he's going to explode hundreds of thousands of people to take down this...
12,000 people did die.
Well, that's the thing, too, is that... they actually did there was actually something in there where they actually broadcasted a message saying, hey, this building's about to blow up. Everybody get out of the area. So, but what 12,000 people still died.
That's all. That's the only spoiler thing really I wanted to say, because fuck, I love Johnny Silverhand. He's very cool.
He's a handful. I'm at the part now where you just encounter him, and Jesus Christ, he's a handful, but he's fun.
Yeah, that's pretty much gaming for me this year.
I feel like I had something else to say about Cyberpunk, but I don't know. It's just it's something else, man. It's so disappointing, but also it's still really good. So yeah.
Anybody else gamer? Any news, Jonathan, Pat?
No,
I don't
here.
have anything else, really.
No, that was pretty much Animal Crossing was pretty much the only game I really played this year. There's plenty of games I wanted to get around to playing. Probably the one I wanted to get into most was Hades. I'm really liking the art, and I don't think it costs too much, so I might be looking into that, maybe.
The only other game, I guess, technically from this year I played was Persona 5 Royal.
It's a good game.
But, I mean, it's a fucking fantastic game, but,
Well, I guess I will say, even though it's not a new game, but a game I got to play this year the first time was Silent Hill 2.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, for, the first, couple hours of it.
I mean, it was fun. I had never played a Silent Hill game, but just, playing that was a lot of fun, and just, how, spooky it is, going through all the weird, crotch monsters are gibbering around, and, when we turn the corner and fucking Pyramid Head's behind that grate.
Oh God, we fucking screamed.
And that fucking clock puzzle was a pain in the ass.
Oh my God, and it was like right in front of our faces.
It was stupid, but like the game was great. And when John and we played, or he played, I was there for the ride. I was in the sidecar when we played Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation.
Hell yeah!
Well, that was a lot of fun to go through.
Yeah. We beat it in like 3 days.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And God, that fucking key card bullshit. It was a funny bit, but just the backtracking was so dumb.
Oh, the fucking
like temperature coded.
Oh, the second half of that game, just it's a good game, but holy shit, that part is just like so fucking annoying.
And plus, like, I just loved how, I mean, we all love Metal Gear, but just like how even the early days it was just anime as bullshit. God, I love it. It's goofy as hell. But that was
Kojima's a mastermind.
And then how long it took me to beat fucking Rex was just
that was, I feel like that was a whole night in itself just to beat Rex.
Yeah, because it was like, okay, all I got is the Rex fight and the chase. We can hammer this out in like an hour. And then I swear to God, it took me like 3 hours just for the Rex fight.
It's like, because I remember when you finally beat Rex, it was like, psych, bitch, phase 2.
I was like, ah!
And then the chase happens. And Liquid Snake just won't fucking die.
Just Liquid won't die.
Yeah.
God, I hope to God when the Metal Gear movie happens, Liquid Snake is just Oscar Isaac in a clearly blonde wig.
Yes.
I need them to make this as hammy as possible, and I hope to God they make that shit as gay as possible.
Snake.
And it's funny how
it's not much different from the series.
And it's like, it's funny how the gayest looking character in the series, Raiden, is canonically the straightest.
Oh yeah, he's the straightest dude in the whole game. It's a show.
It's an anime show, and you can't tell me otherwise. But even though Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid weren't 2022 games, that was sort of my fun gaming memories from the year. And but plus we had some good banter bullshit when you played Control the other day.
Oh yeah, that too. Wiz, we need to get back on that.
So it feels like I have fun like watching people play games or being like a co-experience to it. Because I'm not a great gamer, but like I enjoy like being there and talking shit. Which maybe one day we'll be able to get back into Twitch, because that's kind of what we did with Twitch. Because I played the Final Fantasy VII demo as well.
Yeah,
that was fun. So one of these days we'll be able to get back to Twitch and get that up and running again. It was just one of those things that just we wanted to do. It just didn't quite click this year, but hopefully that's something we'll get back to in the future.
Hopefully so.
So yeah, we talked about The Last of Us 2. That's my number one. Talked about Cyberpunk. Got that shit out of the way. I have like 3 games from 2020 that I really that are my top games. I would put it as my number 2. Yeah, Bugsnax. Played Bugsnax. Second game I played after PS5. Yeah, because played the Cold War campaign first
on your PS5.
Played Bugsnax, and I've said it before, and I cannot reiterate enough. It is one of those games, those indie games that just comes once, like, in a generation, because it is just fantastic, and I think it will be remembered for all time. It is so good, so lovable, just really, really wholesome. I definitely wouldn't say it's for kids. Really love it. It is.
But it is for kids at the same time. It's like how SpongeBob makes dirty jokes.
Like how Mr. Krabs overdoses on ketamine and dies?
I don't remember that episode, but yes.
Yeah, and if I can and I say it's one of those because there's a lot of games that are like that, that are absolutely wonderful. And this one starts off the generation pretty fucking solid, pretty great. I give it my highest recommendation. I even platinumed it. I got all the trophies. I loved it from beginning to end.
It's a pretty quick and easy platinum, and it's a fun platinum too. It's not like tedious in any way.
No, those were.
There are some bug snacks that are troublesome. I will not lie.
They're, looking back on them, I think because of like how difficult they were, I think that those were just fun experiences in themselves.
I am curious. What are some of your favorite bug snacks from the game? Because like I remember seeing like the crab apple and the little rib centipede, but I don't really know what all the little creatures are in there. Do you have some favorites that stand out to you?
You want to go first, Colt?
I'm trying to remember because there's a lot.
I'll throw some stuff. I'll throw some out. Bunger, 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 bunger. If you don't know, that's a burger, but it's called bunger. Love bunger. Sweetie fly, sweetie fly, sweetie fly, sweetie fly. I don't know how that's gonna sound. My high pitched voice sucks. I really like the barbecue bunger just because it's a barbecue bunger.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There are some really fun. They're all fun. Sody, little Dr. Pepper soda.
Yeah, they have like Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, LaCroix.
Yeah, not the actual brands. I can't remember what they are. But yeah.
But it's very clearly based on like name brands.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, when LaCroix popped up, I was like, that's clearly fucking LaCroix, man. Matza Supreme, the fucking pizza was great. Picantis was cool. It was like essentially like it was like a giant praying mantis that was also just a bunch of other bug snacks like Enchilito. Man, I can't remember all of them. It wasn't Enchilito. Enchilito is its own bug snacks. A lot of
Queeble.
Queeble
Queeble is essentially a
kiwi.
It's very cute.
Queeble.
I really like
Queeble.
it. Fucking, like Wenzel said, bungers ruled. I can't remember. There was a giant sushi monster boss that I absolutely love.
Yeah, it was like a giant sushi dragon. It was so sick. Man, I can't remember what it's called now.
Megamaki.
Yeah.
Fuck. There's so many good ones. They got the Peltos. They got the Pillbugs. They got Panantial. The Pinkle, which is pickle jar.
Yeah.
And they got Scorpania, Ribblepede. And the Sandopede. Sandopede is a secret favorite of mine because I just really enjoyed the image of a giant sub just crawling around the map.
Sandopede, yes. Man, when I first saw that, I loved it. I absolutely fell in love with it.
Playing this game, it was like experiencing the original Pokemon anime because they say their names like Scoopy Banoopy, or
Scoopy Banoopy, yes!
Snackery.
Scoopy Banoopy.
Spuddy. Strawby. We're Pokemon. They're Pokemoning.
I will say my most hated one is Scoopy Banoopy. Motherfucker was so hard to catch and to disassemble because you have to disassemble certain bug snacks to get other bug snacks.
You have to rip their flesh and salt their wounds just to make sure they turn into a taco and a cherry.
That sounds fucking terrifying.
But also, you incorporate the bugs and food into your body, which is also this weird, like Sesame Street body horror kind of thing.
It's very much body horror.
It's very much body horror, and it. I recommend anybody play it. It's for anybody. It's so good. I love the characters too. The Grumble, the Grumpuses. I love them.
Yeah, Bugsnax is great. Give it a go. I recommend playing it on PS5. But it doesn't really matter considering it's not a super graphic intensive game. You're going to get the same experience on both, but just on the faster load times on the PS5.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So, and then those are my top games. No, I didn't say my top. Sorry. My third and final top game is Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal came out earlier this year during the spring. Hardcore, fantastic, fun little fucker.
It would have been my 5, but I enjoyed Resident Evil 3 Remake a little bit more.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I enjoyed Eternal. It's just, I don't know. I think the first one was better.
Oh, man. I don't know.
They just reused the music. The music was just a lot of the OG, not OG, the first Doom's music recycled, and I was a little sad about that.
I don't know, man. Resident Evil 3 was just too short for me, and with Doom Eternal, it was a nice length, a lot of crazy shit for the Doom universe. I loved it, man. And that's fine. That's fine. That's your opinion. It's wrong, but it's your opinion.
All right, damn.
No, I'm just messing around, but I really liked it. Really enjoyed it.
Shit.
And then, well, technically it came out this year, and I'll go ahead and talk about it. But they're two games. They're part of the same series. It's the Dark Anthology series. Dark Picture Anthology. Me and Colt played the first one. It came out last year, but we didn't play it till this year. Man of Medan. Had a heckin' fun time. Good co-op experience. I recommend it wholeheartedly. Really,
it's a perfect co-op experience. I mean, just him seeing different things from me. In Man of Medan, you'll see on his screen, you'll see like a demon chasing after you, or you'll see a ghost in the corner of the screen. And on my screen, I'm like, I don't see anything, and Wenzel's over there screaming.
and it's so funny because we'll be doing something, and then for like after a while, we'll be like, oh, we'll think like, wait a minute, what's happening on your screen? So we can coordinate what decisions to make. It's really good. Man of Medan was really fun, and then like I said, there was one that came out this year, Little Hope. Little Hope was really, really good, and I don't know. I can't say too much about them. I really want anybody listening to experience them for themselves. But then, whenever Little Hope ended, it gives you a little teaser for the next one. Woo! Woo! So excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. The thing is, with these games, the story is nothing too crazy. It's kind of like B to C tier slasher films, or horror films in general. They're not the greatest stories, but man, they are fun to play. Gives me a good bit of fear, because I did get spooked a lot.
Yeah, there was really good bits where when we were playing Little Hope, I think we had more streams in Little Hope where we'd be doing something and something would scare the absolute shit at us. Literally, if it be me or if it be Colt. Definitely also going to go back and replay them just so we can get those trophies. Fun time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I played the DLC, loved them. Need a Heracross. Please give me a Heracross for Pokemon. And yeah, that's pretty much. Had a fun time with games though. Need to catch up. Still got a lot of shit to do.
It sounds like a good batch of games all around. Now we're moving into our final big award of the night, and that's Best Movies of 2020. And you've heard us talk about movies literally all year long, from our sort of seasonal quarantine viewings to like other specific things. But I think the time has finally come to talk about what our favorite movies were from the year 2020 and from just our overall viewings from the year. And this is definitely going to be a lot of us reiterating like certain films that we touched on early in the year and get into some films that maybe all of us have finally got a chance to see and have a larger conversation from it.
For my list, I have like top 10 first watches, just movies watched in 2020. And in that list, I only have one movie from 2020. The first movie, number 10 on my list, is a 2020 movie. And I really enjoyed it. I just kept going back to it, thinking about how much I really enjoyed it. And it was Birds of Prey. I fucking loved Birds of Prey. I know it's not for everyone, but I went into it not expecting much. But I came out very happy with what I got. I think all the characters were super fun. It was a fun comic movie. And it was nice to see Harley away from the Joker for once.
The Joker, baby.
And the next movie, number 9, it technically came out last year, but it released more so in this year, which was Color Out of Space. I think that's the case. But Color Out of Space was really fucking good. It was Nicolas Cage's... It's Nicolas Cage doing his thing. And he does it with some cosmic horror bullshit that was an absolute blast to experience. Number 8 for me is Ride Your Wave, Wenzel, Pat, and I went and saw this before the hell went down. And oh my god, I loved Ride Your Wave. It's a very emotional movie about a woman that had her boyfriend die and come back to talk with her, basically live with her as a water spirit. And it's essentially about her getting over his death and trying to move on. It's very emotional, made me cry a little, very good. Number 7, Summer Wars. This is an older movie. I fucking love this movie. I don't want to go too crazy into it other than telling you it's like MMO, wild shit, satellite probably going to crash into the earth. Stuff like that. Crazy shit.
Digimon.
Digimon as well. Number 6. Out of all these movies, this is probably the least fun, but damn, it was amazing. Come and See. You get to watch the innocence of a child get ripped from him in the World War II. It's a insanely sad, beautiful movie. It's one of the best World War II movies I've ever seen. Number 5 is Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. The first time I ever watched it, I went in thinking it was going to be one of the lesser Ghibli movies, but it actually came out one of my favorites. It's fantastic. I usually hate bugs, but the bug creatures in here were pretty cool. Number 4, Tokyo Godfathers. This was the last movie I saw in theaters this year with Wenzel, Tanner, and Pat. It was, for that reason, I love it even more, but the movie itself was fucking fantastic. 3 homeless people in Japan find a baby. They go on a journey trying to find out whose baby it is, pretty much. And I don't want to give too much away there. Number 3, I just clump these movies together. It's the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This is the first time I've actually watched all of them together. These movies fucking kick ass, and I understand why so many people care about this trilogy now. I haven't watched the Goblin series. What is it?
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit series. I haven't watched the Hobbit series just yet, but I plan to watch it when my brain is prepared. Because I know I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I'd like the Lord of the Rings, but I want to give it some space to breathe. Number 2 was, I think, the second movie I saw this year. Or third. One of the first movies was Uncut Gems. Holy shit, this movie. What? It's anxiety hell. Absolutely love it. It's Adam Sandler's best role. I still think about it pretty much every week or two. I will just think about this movie and just go, damn, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
because that was my business.
Because we got to see a lot of movies together at the within the first 3 months of the year, and I remember just being with everybody on the show today, watching the Uncut Gems, and everybody was just like fucking white knuckling through that whole movie.
God, because I was sitting beside Wenzel and he had his hood up, and
I saw him zip that shit up. It was a good bit, but but honestly, same. If I had a hood, I would have just tucked myself in.
And God, I was flapping for 15. Like, I'm flapping now. Because, God, I got to get the heebies out. That movie just so uncomfortable.
And we were just screaming, like, you can stop anytime. God, it's good. It's good. We talked about that plenty.
But my number 1 movie of the year, which I wasn't expecting it to like it as much as the first movie, but Ghost in the Shell 2: Innocence. I fucking loved this movie. It has dated CG for some sections, but to me it adds a sort of atmosphere to time. It just feels good to me. It makes me feel comfortable. It reminds me of the PlayStation 2 era CGs, and it just makes me feel comfortable. It doesn't look the greatest, but I love it. But the story is very good. We get to see Bato go about his business and his little hound doggy. is very cute as well. I don't want to say too much because I kind of want to show it to everyone here, get an experience. Because has anybody else seen Ghost in the Shell 2?
I haven't.
I haven't seen it. No.
Wenzel?
No.
I want to show everyone here. It's a fantastic movie. And it's my number one of the year. Fucking.
Hell yeah.
I watched all of Ghost in the Shell this year. Fuck.
Yeah,
I've done a lot.
I remember there was a period you really binged through the Ghost in the Shells, even like the new ones, the CG ones.
I own every single Ghost in the Shell related thing. Well, not the newest Netflix series, but I'll get it when it comes out on Blu-ray.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's my movies. I watched 169, but those are 10 of my favorites.
Nice. Because I will say, when everybody gets through with their sort of talk about the movie, you can end with what was your final number for the year. Because like Wenzel said earlier, a little behind the curtains here, we are recording a little bit earlier than the end of the year. It's just in order to give ourselves some free time for the last little bit of the year for the holidays. So we are still at least like about 10 days out from the actual end of the year from the time of this recording. So there might be some movie numbers that change, or like our final list may change, because there's still a bunch of movies that we want to try to catch up with before the year ends properly. So,
I'm at 169 now, but I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna watch Wonder Woman and Soul at least. So I'll probably be at like 171. Maybe I'll watch another movie. 172 is probably my final guess.
But like anything, we kind of have to have a line that we have to cut things off with, just so we can make the show. So because of course we can't make it literally at the end of the year. Yeah. So, but all right, just now that that's out of the way, Don, would you like to go next?
Okay, sure. I got like two lists. Before I get into the top movies, first time watch, I'm going to just quick fire honorable mentions for movies this year I saw that really enjoyed. Shirley is the Shirley Jackson quote biopic that me and Pat watched. It's on Hulu. Mm-hmm. I think the director Josephine Decker. I could be wrong. It was really cool, really weird. Really enjoyed it. Big lesbian energy.
Yes, very sapphic.
Very great. Spike Lee's Da 5 Bloods. Really fucking good. There were some parts of it I thought were a little too conventional, but, that's just being nitpicky. Borat, subsequent movie film.
Fuck, that movie was good. Better than the first, I say.
I have to agree.
I just remember watching Borat with the house was a very memorable. We screamed most of that movie.
I feel you 100%, especially spoilers for Borat. The scene where they go to this abortion clinic where they tell you not to get an abortion. He's like, I got my daughter pregnant. We went in the back alley. I gave her a good surprise. I wanted to please my daughter, which was a cupcake with a tiny plastic baby on it. And she swallowed the plastic baby. And he's like, we got to get this baby out of her.
It's a great bit. It's the bit is like they're like, oh, we're here to get an abortion, but they're like literally trying to get a plastic baby out. It's a great bit.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Invisible Man.
Yes,
very good.
I was not expecting a lot from this movie, but holy shit, I was surprised. There were a couple moments where nearly shat myself. But yeah, it was really fun, quote unquote movie.
It was pretty wild watching just people getting their ass wrecked by just nothing. There's nothing there until you slowly see him at the end. Especially that police officer, man, that just gets his shit rocked by a ghost. Fuck.
Oh my god! And just like anytime the camera would just hold stationary, and you're just looking around the frame, like trying to see where the fuck that invisible fucker is.
Elizabeth Moss just had just harrowing transformation throughout the film. It really gives you a taste of just like how someone in an abusive relationship is just sort of gaslit, and your world is just controlled by this forced. Like it's not even, it didn't have to be present for them to just feel like they're in danger. And then like the whole movie, it's a great movie. You're just fucking tense.
God.
Yeah.
And then that one moment in the diner.
Fuck.
What,
That got me
Can you
good. I
refresh
just-
me?
The
With
one
the
where they're
knife?
in the restaurant and the knife is floating, and then
I don't remember that.
the sister dies.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah, her throat just gets cut, and they're like, "All right, yes."
Yeah, and like Elizabeth Moss, fucking fearless. And then last movie of 2020, before I get to my list, the last movie we saw in theaters, Onward, Pixar movie. It was good. Don't give me that look, Pat.
Was it just a movie that was good for you, John?
Yeah, Jonathan.
I can't help that the fucking mom had a dump truck ass. Just saying.
Too
Onward
horny,
was a
man.
really
Too
good
horny.
movie.
But besides that, really good movie.
Oh yeah.
Now, for top movies I watched in this year, coming in number 10, Punch Drunk Love. It's Paul Thomas Anderson, Adam Sandler movie. I would argue his best movie. It's really fucking good, really cute love story. Soar's really fucking great. Number 9. This is going to be the most controversial pick out of the group.
I bet
I
it
know.
is. I know what it is.
It's I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Yeah.
All right. Now, okay. Now we have to stop and we have to discuss this because, man.
I feel like it's worth the discussion. A little sidebar here
Yeah.
because John and I we watched this earlier in the year, and we will say this is an adaptation of a book called "I Think of Anything." It's on Netflix, and this film, at least from my perspective, it really blew up with acclaim on film Twitter and a lot of really film enthusiasts. But I will say, while it did engender a lot of great John and I had a lot of great conversations about this film and the things that it brings up, but it had to be one of the most physically arduous viewing experiences of my life because it is just 2 hours plus of just like the most painfully awkward, just brutal, like uncomfortableness and just I just felt like I was held captive by this goddamn movie.
Yeah,
with
because after it was over, I turned to Pat and I was like, "Well, what did you think?" And that was the first thing he said. I felt like I was held captive. And the thing is, all that I don't disagree. All of y'all's complaints, I know that y'all are going to say, I don't really disagree. The thing with this movie with me though was it just did not leave my mind for weeks and caused me to have a fucking existential crisis. And that's not me being exaggerating. That's just what really happened. I will say, and probably why it's a little lower on my list is because, like Pat said, as far as the physical act of watching it is really fucking painful, and this is something that's with a lot of Charlie Kaufman works, is it's very dense and probably more fun to talk about and discuss than actually participate in. So,
So I know which director to avoid from now on, because fuck, that sucked.
now I will say, this is his probably most obtuse
Oh, okay.
and just downright bleak movies, if you couldn't tell by the title. But, and I mean, and his stuff is pretty dark. He's the guy who wrote Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, being John
Yeah.
Malkovich, and directed Anomalisa in Synecdoche, New York.
Yeah.
Which Synecdoche, New York is one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, that the final shot, that final scene in the high school gymnasium, Jesse Plemons singing that song from Oklahoma, that really hit home. And Jesse Plemons and Jesse Buckley, great performances. Now y'all go and tell me how much of a stupid, pretentious fuck I am.
I fucking get it. Get on to the next fucking scene. Dear fucking God, why are we here still? I'm suffering. Please, stop. Next scene. Why are they dancing so long in the end? We don't need this dance scene.
I will agree with that, though, 100%.
I gotta get this out there because I've been holding this in for so long. Like, okay, solid casting choices. All right, like before they even announce who's gonna be in the film, I remember reading the book by I'm Thinking of Anything's by Ian Reed, and I was like, the first thing I imagined Jake, the guy, being was Jesse Plemons. Plemons, I imagined him being that guy, and I was like, holy shit, like, this is a perfect casting choice. Like, and the thing is, too, the parts when he gets irrationally angry, those were funny, those were good, just like in the book. I love that. But, like...
You say funny, but I say gives me anxiety.
You mean you mean the part whenever he's making out with Jesse Buckley, and then he's like, did you see that guy? That little pervert! And then he says, fuck! It starts hitting the steering wheel. That's funny. That was funny to me, because that was so awkward and weird, and it made no sense, but it was straight out of the book, and I loved it. I thought that was great. And don't get me wrong, not every movie should be exactly like the book. Because, another thing, too, Ian Reed was a co-producer of this film, and I just do not understand how he could be thumbs up for certain, like, choices made in this film. Because, like, okay, the car scene was actually longer in the book than it is in the film, but it's shorter, and it's almost pointless because in the book, it's a lot of the woman recounting their relationship and actually talking about things that are relevant to the themes of the book, and then also too, she keeps getting a call from her friend, and it's her, and you don't even know that it's her number until later when you find out her name. The woman was never named in the book, and when they did that in the film, it's fine, but it's also like, you need to give more context as to why her getting phone calls from her own number is fucking creepy. And they didn't. And it's just, and the ending is too ambiguous. I don't really care for it, because it's like the whole point of it, spoilers, is the old guy, the old janitor, the entire time, what's happening isn't actually happening. It's a completely fictional event that is him recreating a life that never was. It's him just thinking about, what if I asked that girl out from the bar and we met my parents and so on and so on and so on, and he's having problems because he's so old and it was so long ago, he's having problems recalling her name, the events into which he was taking care of his parents. He kind of interspersed those with like, hey, like maybe like he's thinking about like, what if she saw me doing this, and like she's like, wow, you're such a good son, and blah 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 blah, and it's just like, the way they make it is like, they just make it too ambiguous. Not too ambiguous, like you could still tell even if you didn't read the book. But again, it's just they didn't give enough. And then
I will agree with you. I think the film is a little unnecessarily obtuse. And
then also the dance scene, it's like, that wasn't even in the book. Like, I know I sound like a douche right now saying it's not in the book, but like it doesn't, for me, serve any purpose other than it looks pretty. And then the ending, whenever he's getting, the award and he sings that song, that doesn't happen either. Like, there's no like, again, it's like a scenario of, okay, what if he went down this road and he became the famous scientist that he wanted to be? Sure, but like that, I don't know. That was kind of a weird visual representation, because in the book, what happens is that once he finally comes to terms, because I'm Thinking of Ending Things has two meanings. One, it's, a relation, the breaking of a relationship, but also it's his relationship with life, which is suicide, and which is what happens in the book. In the movie, you do see him walk through the school naked with a pig. In the book, he literally just gets like a coat hanger, stabs himself, and shoves himself into a closet for police to find. That's what happens, and it's just, and then like a lot of it just seems so pretentious, especially with like Jessie Buckley with the way she spoke, some of the lines she recited, especially at the when they're doing when they're doing the second car trip, but they're going back, and they're going, they're supposed to be going home, but they don't, and she's reciting that thing about a film, and
like the whole like film and like literature analysis on the trip
are
back
you talking
home.
about the Pauline Kael's review of A Woman Under the Influence by John Cassavetes?
yeah.
Yeah.
That I was like, there's so much stuff that was added, and I'm just like, okay, the book, it's existential, it's about isolation, it's about growing old, it has a lot going for it, and it sort of implemented that into this film, but it just didn't, the way it was executed was just not, it makes me not want to ever see Kaufman's work again, and I'm just like, I just don't understand the choices. And, the thing is, too, this might be the only visual representation of the novel we get, and that's fine because not every novel needs a visual representation, but the fact that this is it is kind of like, I gave it 3 stars. Pretty.
Yeah, and like, I can see some of what you're saying. To me, as far as the pretentiousness, I think, to me, that was part of the point, was that, because the janitor character ultimately is a pretentious person, and
yeah,
and a lot of it is that very much he has this like deep self-loathing, but also is very narcissistic and sees himself as above everybody.
I just think it's really interesting, like how he's a very brilliant person, just for whatever reason he never tried hard enough to reach his potential, and then that's kind of part of the movie, is that he's regretting in his age that he never applied himself, and he's
blaming himself, his parents,
just like he's sort of like
this figment, this woman or this construct of a woman he's never met.
Well, that was the sad thing about it too, was that he did meet this woman, but it was just for that brief encounter, and that was, I did think it was good that he messed up her name a few times. I was like, okay, that's really good.
Like her name kept changing, and their occupations kept changing, and that definitely led to some like very like unnerving moments, because especially the section of the film in the house, it is borderline a horror movie, just how dread-inducing it is.
Okay, so because not only is like there's just like the general ambiance is like really uncomfortable and awkward, and people just feel just like left to center, like almost aliens. But like, Toni Collette just gets more gruesome in every movie she's in.
Yeah, she gets more and more unhinged.
But also like because like you said, the sequence in the house is very horror-like, because you start to, because a lot of the movie is about recollection and like how your memory is pliant, and it's not static. It changes over time because you remember it fails, and just sort of the degradation of memory. But also like it just kind of, the movie kind of like makes you think, are you crazy? Because there's like really small things that change in between scenes. Like, wait a minute, like when the girl is wearing glasses in one scene to read her phone or read or something, and then when it cuts, one scene it's like red, and when it cuts back it's yellow, and they're like, wait a minute, something's not right. There's like really small things that change, and it's just like, am I going crazy?
Yeah.
It's fucking unsettling.
No, there was a part in there that was done, I think, it's such a subtle thing, but it was done perfectly, because it happens in the novel too, is when the father leaves the room and comes back, his Band-Aid is on the other side of his head.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was, like, amazing.
Yeah, and things like that is just like, I really fucking dig. I will say, I wouldn't get. I don't think Colt would like Charlie Kaufman's stuff, but I think Wenzel, you should probably give some of his other movies a try.
Yeah.
Mainly Synecdoche, New York, which deals with similar themes and a similar kind of pathetic character, but it's definitely not as fucking bleak as this movie. And then Synecdoche, New York is depressing as shit. Yeah, and I think because it caused such a visceral reaction for me, I couldn't justify like not putting it on this list. And there was so much of the filmmaking, like we're talking about, that I fucking enjoyed. And then like me and Pat had conversations out the ass about this movie afterwards.
Like I wanted to say thank you to the movie for like letting me have like these really interesting, engaging conversations, but also fuck you for making me sit through you.
Yeah, and like I don't disagree with that because it is painful to watch, but yeah. Now I will agree with y'all in the sense of the dancing scene. Like while I love 90% of the final third of this movie, once they get to the school, the dancing, like y'all said, doesn't really add anything. This felt like what people think a Criterion movie is, just like aesthetics for aesthetics' sake. And granted, it's sort of telling a lot through dance, but like, yeah, at the same time, I kind of checked out for a moment. I was like, oh, we're doing this for a movie that's pretty innovative in sort of various shot compositions. Like to me, that felt more pedestrian, like something, an idea of what people think a art house movie would. So yeah, I'm thinking of many things. I really enjoyed it. I completely understand people who don't.
I just wanted to say one more thing about it. You know, I can understand. I definitely don't think it's a pass. I can see the charm in it. I say it would be a good, like, fun little companion thing to read. Go check out the book, and then come back and watch the movie. For anybody listening, so that's all I have to say.
I hope I never have to watch it ever again.
You don't have to.
It was funny to look at the Letterboxd score and how it's just like a sliding slope. John 4.5, Wenzel 3, Colt and I like 2.5, 2.
Yeah. So that was number 9, and I think that's the only 2020 movie on this list. Number 8, 2018 Suspiria. I talked about it, I think the last.
It's the fall quarantine viewing.
Bunch of witches. Really fucking awesome. Fucking Tilda Swinton in 3 roles. It's fucking great. Number 7, a movie Colt put on his list. Come and See. Like I said, you just get to see the innocence of this poor kid die. And it's a lot. It's very heavy. Number 6 is a musical, Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I just happened to pick that one up, just sort of a blind buy on the summer Criterion sale. And me and Pat watched it, and we had a fucking blast. It's really fucking good. Good LGBT cinema. Number 5, Boogie Nights. Another fucking Paul Thomas Anderson's on here 3 times. Holy shit, I just realized that. Boogie Nights is a movie about porn, but also family. It's really good. And not in the incest way.
It's just like all these porn stars make their makeshift family. Also, twink icon John C. Reilly. Who would have thought?
For real. Stepbro. It's not the stepbro I'm caught in the washer type thing.
What are you doing? No, I'm not going to recite that.
Number 4, inside Llewyn Davis, you get to see Oscar Isaac being a very frustrating cunt for like 90 minutes. It's really fucking great. Also, banging soundtrack. Really fucking great. Number 3, talked about it the last movie wrap up, Stalker. Really fucking good Russian movie from the late 70s. It's about 3 hours. You should check it out. Number 2, also Paul Thomas Anderson, There Will Be Blood. See Daniel Day-Lewis just be a fucking asshole the entire movie. It's one of the great character studies. And then finally, number 1, The Handmaiden. Because, God, like, because I watched it with Cody and some of his friends, and we fucking screamed. And then on my birthday, I showed it to the rest of the house, and like Liz really loved it, and Can really loved it, and Pat was really quiet, and I was like, oh shit, he didn't like it. And then Pat was like, I fucking love this movie. It's a movie you should know very little going in, and if at first you're like, oh, this is kind of boring, wait till it gets to the second part, and then things go fucking bananas. So yeah, that's my top 10.
All right. Very Jonathan
Thank you.
list. Very
But very-
artsy. Very Jonathan.
But it's a very good list.
Yeah, it's good stuff in there. It's not that one though.
No, it's a good list because it's its opinion.
I
It's
guess.
my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, Wenzel, would you like to go next?
Sure, I'll go next. For mine, I've already talked so much about these films that I've seen. So I'll do something later. Whenever this comes out, I'll make a list of my first viewings or whatever. I'm gonna specifically focus on mine. The films that came out in 2020, so they're 2020 releases. I just have 8 of them. So number 8, Sputnik. I watched this on Hulu. It's a really solid sci-fi film. Russian cosmonaut goes to space, comes back, brings something with him. Really good alien flick. Really good monster design. Solid score. A little bit of I wanted to rate it higher, but then some of it was kind of cliche, so I had to give it the little 3.5 I have on Letterboxd. But I still doesn't feel right with me. But it's really good. I recommend it. Number 7. Why the fuck did I make it this way? I have it ordered weird on my thing now. I don't like that. Number 7 is His House on Netflix. It's a horror film about 2 immigrants leaving or they escape war-torn Sudan. I want to say, I could be wrong. I'm sorry. So they come to England, and weird shit starts to happen in their new house. They're refugees though, and it's a really good experience. Or it's a really good kind of like shows you kind of the experience that immigrants have to go through, especially with everything that's happened recently, like with Brexit, a lot of racist motherfuckers still doing stupid shit in our systems and stuff like that. And it's really, really good. I think just what they have to go through in itself is a horror story, because it's not fun by any means. So yeah, I give it a recommendation. Solid horror film. Number 6, I really should reorder these, but I think because of my ratings, I have it weird. Number 6, I have Emma. I saw that by myself earlier this year. It came to a theater like an hour away from me, so that's where I went to go see it. It has Anya Taylor-Joy in it. I think this is based off of I don't remember it much now. I think it's based off of a novel. It's like it's
based off a Jane Austen novel.
19th century, bunch of white people doing silly shit. Rich white people, I should say. It was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Number 5, The Invisible Man. We talked about this. Great film. Fantastic. Really excited for what this director has in store for us with The Wolfman. So
Ryan Gosling.
yeah, really excited for that. Number 4, Onward. Talked about that before. Pixar film. Really sad. Really good. Jonathan's really horny for that mom. And would not shut up about it during the... No, I'm just kidding. It was funny. It was fun.
Because she got a thick ass.
Yeah, she does. And then my last three, I'm kind of juggling with them because they're all really good, and I can't nail one for a number one, so I'll just say it.
Say they're all number one.
So they're all number one. First one, I'll say Birds of Prey. We talked about that. Good film. Good superhero movie. Fun characters all around. Ewan McGregor, loved him as Black Mask. He gets his shit wrecked. Really fun.
God, I was not ready for that.
They killed the fuck out of Ewan McGregor in that movie.
He's not coming back.
I was like, I'm really ready to see what he'll do later on, and then it's like, that motherfucker exploded.
He did. D-E-D, dead.
He did.
He's not coming back.
No.
But yeah, Birds of Prey was surprisingly great.
Yeah. No, it was a huge hit. Then my next one is The Five Bloods. I finally watched that recently. I when I watched it, I thought it was Chadwick Boseman's last film, but apparently not. There's actually another film that just released that is his last film, but either way, this being one of his last films is so surreal.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie, and then especially the part in there where we get a full confrontation between him and our character, our very troubled character, Paul.
Is he the Trump one?
Yeah, he's the Trump one. We get an interaction between him where we find out how exactly Storm and Norman died. It was an accident, and that was such an emotionally good scene performance because Chadwick Boseman's his character's like, I forgive you, man. You got me good too. It was like, oh my God, you are wrecking me right now. Fantastic film, really a lot. Man, it's so sad everything that happened in it, and it's just a good. I think I saw where a lot of people complained about Spike Lee's choices of using actual footage within the film, and I have to disagree. I think it really works well for what for the storytelling, what he's trying to say. Shit.
It's Vietnam. It's a real war that happened.
Also, apparently, those people have never seen a fucking Spike Lee movie because he tends to do that quite a lot.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, it wasn't holding back either. It showed footage of a guy getting shot in the head.
That stuck with me. That was fucked.
Yeah, I've never seen that, and that really I was like, whoa, that was real. And then the footage and photographs of babies, fucking dead, children dead. You get the footage.
It's important to show this. It's important to show what war looks like. It's similar to how it's important to remind yourself of this stuff.
What happens,
and never repeat it. We need to show what America did in Vietnam, the way they would just go through these villages and kill civilians just
because they were cowards. They were paranoid, and they were like, oh well, the Viet Cong can be anybody, so we just got to kill everybody.
Yeah, they were working under the mentality the only good VC is a dead VC.
God sort them,
which is super fucked.
No way can this ever be justified. And then people, because we also have this guy, this Trump supporter character, who also refers to a lot of the people as a slur, and that's the thing too, is that a lot of people, to them they aren't. It's fucked. They aren't people. They're just the enemy, and what that means and what that entails doesn't matter. They're just the enemy, and that's it. And that's why when you see this footage, it's good to show you that so you're saying that baby is the enemy, so you're saying that child is the enemy. This human child is the enemy. This human baby is the enemy. So they deserve that. Who's the enemy? What does that mean? And then also it shows too the just what was happening in America with these this is oh my God. And people think this shit didn't happen, and it's still happening today. These racist motherfuckers.
I did have my issues with the film, but I feel like one of the strongest points in the film was highlighting just the racial disparity in the film. Like, 'cause they said like black men in America signed up more and were recruited more for the war in Vietnam than their white counterparts.
No, yeah, they were drafted not only in World War II but in Vietnam, and they were still segregated, and it makes no fucking sense.
And like it was like another strong point is like you see all the different soldiers whenever they're reliving their moments in combat, it's them as old men in the flashback, which I thought was a really great touch.
Yes.
Oh yeah, really good.
And like with the main character, his name was Paul, right?
Yeah, I think
Or like the soldier they put the most emphasis on.
Delroy Lindo, I think is the actor's name.
How like his character is such this weird this weird incongruous idea that how could a black man be a Trump supporter? It's like how like what will that happen? But that's real. That happens. I mean, in real life, I remember we went out to a restaurant one day and there was an older black man like singing Trump's praises, and it's like, this can't be real. What's happening right now? But it's true, and it's interesting to see as like how I guess complex of a character he is, because like there's a lot of trauma that happened to him that influences his sort of very caustic and abrasive behavior. But then there's also a lot of genuine character flaws that make him I'd say not a great person. But it's just sort of to see his arc. While I do think there's like some weird, like kind of fluttering with his character in the movie that I don't quite agree with, but I still think it's a very interesting decision to make him a stronger character of focus in the film.
Yeah, because like you said, there are actual people like him, real people that are like this, and and it's, if anything, he's it's more sad, him, especially with how he is towards his son, played by Jonathan Majors, who, it was so funny because I was looking at a review about this film, and they were like, the person was like, man, I wish they didn't have that Trump footage in there. That sucks. But man, when did Jonathan Majors get so jacked?
Yeah, also, and then he's strangely jacked. And
go ahead.
There's a weird little thing. I don't know if I misheard a certain portion of the film, or if I didn't mishear it, it's a fucking weird choice. But I was under the impression that Jonathan Majors' character as his son was 18 years old in the film, but I don't know if that's correct. Cause all I just remember is his father showing a picture of Jonathan Majors, his son, and his mother. It's like, oh, this is my son. He's 18. But I don't know if he's 18 in that photo or he's supposed to be 18 years old in the movie. Because if he's supposed to be 18 years old in the movie, that's a fucking stretch. Says Jonathan Majors is a grown ass man.
No, I think he was like a teacher or something. So like, yeah, he couldn't be 18.
So like, that's what I was confused about.
He couldn't be 18 in a picture with his mother because his mother died giving birth to him.
Okay, because like I said, I'm hard of hearing, so like there's some stuff I didn't quite make out, and I was like, okay, hold on, I was kind of missing some points, but I was giving myself the caveat. It's like, I know I probably misheard some stuff, but also that's also just a funny bit in my head. It's like, this dude's the jackest ass, grownest ass 18-year-old I've ever seen.
He's working off of JoJo logic.
Evidently.
I mean, there are some jacked 18-year-olds, but anyway, this review, though, when it was talking about Jonathan Majors, literally he would say something he didn't like the film, and then he would ask, has his biceps always been that big? And then he would keep asking about him, and then at the very end of his review, he says, man, has Jonathan Majors been this jacked in every other film? I'm like, dude, why do you care about how jacked he is?
He's distractingly jacked, I guess.
He's just Myron, bro.
Because like, I was like, he's really buff in The Five Bloods, and he's really buff in Lovecraft Country, and like, he's gonna be even buffer as Kane the Conqueror.
Yeah, he is.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, but a lot to take in with that film. I really loved it, and I'm glad I finally saw it. And my final film that I recently, like, this is my most recent film that I did not know I'd love so much, but I did. And it's also based off a book that I want to read now, is The Devil All the Time. And man, wow, I was not expecting to like this movie so much, but goddamn, it was good. And I don't understand some of the criticism, because Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson, hell, even Sebastian Stan are fantastic. And I remember reading some of the reviews. One of them was like, or critics specifically have said like, oh man, Robert Pattinson's performance is god awful. What is with that accent? And then there's another that's like, one of the best performances of the year. And like, and not only that, it just the performances in general, they're all like, they're awful. And then the other people are like, oh, they're great. And then there's one side that's like, oh, this film's too bleak. And then there's this other side that's like, oh, this film's bleak. That's awesome. And it's
not
just like,
bleak enough. God damn it.
yeah, and it makes no sense whatsoever. Like, I don't see any actual like hard lined, like really just deep grit criticism that's just kind of like really getting in there. It's just kind of all like, I don't want to say superficial, but like,
It's all about
like
subjective taste.
I mean, yeah, because like,
I mean, granted, like all criticism is, but there's,
of course,
I don't know, there are various like agreed upon standards we hold narratives up to.
yeah. Yeah, and for me, this kind of hit like every sweet spot, because, okay, The Devil All the Time is like pretty much like a crime thriller drama. Tom Holland plays our young character. He's like either out of high school or is about to be. He plays a kid named Arvin Russell, and they live in this they live in this really small town, West Virginia. They all have Southern accents, and he kind of has to deal with these. I'm going to have to read off the letterbox right now. It says he has to deal with the evil forces surrounding his family, which there's no supernatural stuff when it says evil forces. It's just referring to like people, and like they are kind of like a force. And it's really good. Like, and I mean, The Devil All the Time really fits it, because it's bleak. It's really bleak. And, that's what I loved about it, and it's super violent, and I really enjoyed that as well. And for a narrative, it's really good. It's not bad. There's also the author of the novel. He narrates really good. Like I said, the performances were solid. I really liked Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson. Really enjoyed the story. I remember somebody made some kind of criticism of like it being kind of a I'm trying to think. It's like it like peppered like kind of like Christian or like nursery. I want to say nursery rhyme, but I don't even think that's the right word, of like kind of like morality or like sentimentism, like of like because this is in the South. And they go, the characters are very Christian. They go to church. There's a lot of church scenes and a lot of talk about God. But like even then, though, the character Arvin, played by Tom Holland, he doesn't really give a shit about that stuff. He's kind of done with that. And I don't want to say too much, because I really recommend it. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. So yeah, those are my top films 2020.
All right, with mine, I'll go through like some of the 2020 stuff. And of course, there will be obviously some overlap. My sort of 10, I got to watch a good many from 2020. Because 2020 was so weird, there's a lot of weird peaks and valleys. But I think my top 10 for 2020, it will include like some stuff that's not strictly movies, but it's like on Letterboxd, so I kind of just have to like make do with what I got. So number 10 onward, really fun, really cute. It's very memorable. It's one of the last movies we got to see as a group, because it's us at the house and with the boys too. So that was fun. Borat 2, talked about it, screamed about it. It was a hoot and a holler, literally. Number 8, The Five Bloods. We just talked about it. It's a very strong film. Go seek that out. It's on Netflix. Also Netflix was Someone Has to Die, which is a miniseries taking place in 1950s Spain about a young gay man who comes back from spending about 10 years abroad to his very rich family, his very conservative family, and sort of the fallout of him trying to live his life and as his secret is being uncovered. It's a very tense series because you have to deal with like very prejudices of the time and that afflicting the main character. But like I was still very invested throughout the story. Number 6, Burn the Witch. It's on Letterboxd. It was we talked about that in the anime. Number 5. While it was a hard watch, I still really appreciate the film and what it did, and that was Possessor. Mm-hmm. It's really difficult in some places, just in terms of the brutality and just sort of the sheer fucking anxiety. Because the last 20 minutes, my nerves is up. Because it's just really brutal, and of course because it's about this assassin who sort of jumps bodies in order to make their mark. There's a lot of that plays within that. Like you start wondering, okay, who's doing this? Who's doing that? Is this real? Because Brandon Cronenberg does a great job, and there's so many shots in the film that's just wonderfully composed, and the sequence where the assassin is sort of uploading her consciousness into the fall guy's body is really interesting because they was essentially these two wax models of the assassin and the fall guy, and you see her body sort of melt away, and you see then melt into his. It's really interesting how they do it, and it's very surreal. The whole thing is very surreal and upsetting, and you'll probably be pretty worn down by the end. You're just fuck, because the last 10 minutes, it's just it fucking cuts your guts out. It's very intense. Number 4, Invisible Man. We talked about it. This is a great film, one of the strongest of the year. 3, cultural phenomenon, Tiger King. You can't get past it. It was great. We talked a lot about it. Everybody knows about it. Number 2 was Dracula Resurrection. It was so much fun. I love Dracula. It's the horror punk drag queen competition, and this integral special they did, bringing back old queen to compete for a position in the following season whenever it gets to be able to made. It was just so cool to see all these queens come back and show how much they evolved in their presentation, evolved in their style, and to sort of see a more personal insight to their lives, and plus just even in literally the throes of quarantine, they were able to make a very well shot and put together film. It's great, and just for nothing else, just the spectacle of it, it's amazing. And I think my favorite production film of the year was probably Shirley.
Yeah, because
it's about Shirley Jackson, with a very famous writer, specifically horror, as it sort of, I would say, I don't want to say fan fiction, but it sort of reads into this aspect of her life that, while we cannot confirm, we also cannot deny, there's this very she has this very lesbianic and sapphic tones to her writing, and it's sort of exploring this sort of, or inferring this sort of hidden aspect of her lives as she's sort of going through the throes of her depression and then her mental health, and sort of the dissolution of her marriage with this young couple that comes to stay with her and her husband, and her bond with the wife. And it's really interesting. And plus, there are so many shots in the movie that are straight out of a horror movie, and how they're composed and how they're shot. And it's just honestly a great film. But as for overall viewing, there'll be some similar overlap between John and me because we watched a lot of movies together. But my number 10 movie was Blood Quantum, which is a horror movie I watched maybe about in the summer. It's a zombie film, but the twist is it's focused on indigenous peoples because it takes place in Canada, They're First Nations, as they say up there, and this zombie apocalypse happens, and the indigenous people are immune to the virus. They can be bit, but they do not turn. Of course, that's only a small advantage when you have this hordes of man-eating monsters that can rip you apart.
Why is this the first time I'm hearing of this? I love zombies movies, and this is like, I Googled it.
I talked about it earlier in the year.
Never heard of this movie.
And I've just been continually thinking about it. I rated it a 3.5, but it just sort of shows there's something about the movie that really stuck with me, because it was just really interesting to see how many movies do you get to see with a all indigenous cast and where they're the focus, and it's telling a story through their perspective, because it's based off a true story of a police raid of an indigenous reservation, and sort of the violence that happened from that. But it's a great film. There's a lot of really interesting animated sequences in there, and I think it's just a really good movie. It's on Shudder, and I would wholeheartedly recommend it. Number 9 is Guyver Dark Hero, which is a sequel to an American adaptation of a Japanese anime / manga, and it's pure 80s cheese top to bottom, but it has some fucking sick choreography, and with the fighting, because it's about this man who comes bonded with this biomechanical unit that transforms into this fighting superhero tokusatsu hero, and pure cheese, and but the monster effects and practical effects are amazing. I promise, I was wishing I could watch it with the boys, because I know for shit y'all be screaming at certain point, because it's just that fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
And the final battle is bad as fuck. It is so cool. And also the main character is young Solid Snake. David Hayter is the main character in the movie, and that's
Hell yeah.
fucking crazy. It's so
Wow.
good.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
It's great. I rented it on Vudu, and it was fucking slick. I loved that movie to bits. Number 8 might sound crazy. Pink Flamingos.
Hell yes.
Because John and I had a fucking time watching that movie. It was a fucking blast. It's nauseating, absolutely disgusting. Loved every minute of it.
Kill everyone now. Condone the first-degree murder.
How could a person be an egg, Cotton? How can a person be an egg?
I have no idea what's happening.
There's just two kinds of people in this world, Miss Sandstone. My kind of people and assholes.
It's fantastic. Number 7, I kind of had a hard time, because there's a bunch of really good movies. I think maybe it would be Little Women.
Ooh,
yeah,
I like
that
Little
was
Women.
a really good movie.
Because we saw that at toward the top of the year, and it was just so heartwarming and heartbreaking, and just it was just a gorgeous. It just felt I don't know, as sad as it would be. I just at the end I still felt it just lifted my spirits, because it's just the perseverance of love and family. And while they may sound kind of trite, but the way they did it in the film, it felt very sincere, and it really landed for me.
Yeah, it's a very life-affirming movie.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
It just missed my top 10.
So I would definitely recommend that one. Number 6, Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Hell yes.
That was just came out of nowhere. It was just a blast. It's this totally bizarre musical about this queer character who's, in order to escape this totalitarian European country, they had a bot sex change or sex affirmation surgery, and so they're because they were originally men. When their surgery failed, they sort of assumed a feminine role, and it's sort of Hedwig's journey, figuring out herself and dealing with her trauma and her actions and her mistakes, while being in this badass punk band, and just sort of traveling through the highs and lows of just of being just like small, just like larger than life band in a very small arena, while sort of dealing with the jealousy of like bigger rivals, and it has a fucking banging soundtrack.
Oh my god, the songs are so good.
Like literally, the Hedwig soundtrack was like my top 5 albums on Spotify Rap. Like I played the shit out of it. There's just some great songs. I always still think about them at random points in the year. Moving to top 5. Number 5 is Papillon. It's a movie I watched. I would say about February, March, starring Sammy Rowlett and Charlie Hunnam, about the real life thief Papillon as he was sent to this prison. And this is actually a remake of an older film, but it's just a really like interesting. It's definitely on the slow side. That might be a barrier entry for some people, but it's very slow. It's not too slow that you can't enjoy it, but it's sort of like dealing with the relationship between these two men over the course of several years in this prison, and sort of trying to get out and sort of like making a life within it, and their sort of the choices. Also, it's fucking gay, and it's so good to see, like, because it's even gayer than the original movie, because like they lay it on pretty thick in this film.
Oh, hell yeah.
As about as far as they can go without actually fucking. Damn. But it's a really good film. I would definitely recommend that. If you don't mind something a bit on the slower side. Number 4 is Beau Travail, which is, man, I just kind of stumbled on this movie, and it was fucking incredible, because like if nothing else, it's just shot in such a way it feels like a dream, and just sort of dealing with basically like unreciprocated feelings and jealousy, and sort of like projecting your frustrations onto the thing that's the closest to you, and like finding sort of like meaning in a very vacant world. And plus just seeing the occupation of like of a small country by a dominant force, and even though they're not the focus of it, that's something that the director made very close attention to bring up about the story of like the French Foreign Legion in an African country. A fantastic film. Number 3, Tokyo Godfathers. God, that was just an amazing movie. One of the best anime movies I've ever seen. We talked about it earlier. I got to see it with the boys. It was fantastic. I love that movie to bits. And Hana, best moms in movies history. Come fight me. And number 2, The Handmaiden. One of the best movies I've ever seen. I just love just how meticulously it was shot. Just all the tosses and turns throughout the film is fantastic, and I screamed a lot. It was really good, very surprising. It was just, I just can't get over how gorgeous that movie was.
Oh my god, from the music to, I think like Park Chan-wook has like the best looking movies like right now, because God, that movie was just fucking great.
And my number 1 movie was There Will Be Blood, because that movie was just fucking so righteous. Like, say what you will about Daniel Day-Lewis, like, oh, he's a method actor, whatever, but like the way he just embodied
Daniel Plainview.
He did such a great job. I loved, it's like a fucking despicable ass bastard that he was. He was just so compelling to watch throughout his whole journey. Like, and just something that's really interesting, like, as much as an evil prick that he was, there was still a tiny bit, he had one tiny, like, string wrapped around his finger to humanity, and even then, that couldn't save him.
Oh, God.
And that was, and just like, there's so many scenes I just think about, like, it's such a great movie. It's shot like a masterpiece. I can't talk about this movie enough. It's just so good. I love this movie.
Like, one thing I forgot to talk about when it was on my list was, a lot of movies, even some of my favorite movies of all time, after you get done watching it, it's like you have to sit with it a bit and process it. Mm-hmm. After I finished There Will Be Blood, I had to fight the urge to not start it over. Because I was like, because once those credits hit, I was like, this is a fucking masterpiece. Mm-hmm. Holy shit.
And it's funny too.
Oh my God, yes.
And
just that the I'll drink your milkshake bit.
And then the bit at the very end, I'm done.
I'm finished. I was like, that is just like, mwah, like perfect final line.
So that's my top 10 of 2020 and overall movies watched. Damn, it's as crappy and as weird as it been. 20 movies have been one of the saving graces for the year for me.
Let's see, so how many movies did you watch?
My total at this moment is 150.
Okay, mine is 116.
So, and like we said earlier, there's going to be some stuff that we're going to catch afterwards. So these may change, but as this moment right now, for the last episode of the year, this is where our movie ratings land.
You betcha.
All right. So that's all the big awards. We still have a couple of things more to talk about, and just sort of we can get through these pretty quick. But just lastly, some of the things that we enjoyed this year that don't quite fit into any other categories, and that's as we like to call Lad's Choice.
Lad's Choice, favorite thing from this year, pee-pee. I like pee-pee.
Pee-pee.
I got pee-pee.
Pee-pee. Fuck, I love pee-pee. I'm so tired. I'm hungry. I haven't ate dinner yet. My brain's not working properly.
2:30 in the fucking
pee-pee.
morning.
I love pee-pee.
Okay, it's 2:15. Let's get it right. That doesn't make it any better.
I'm fucking tired, Wenzel.
This is the last episode of the year and that we're recording, so we're pushing through it. We're the home stretch.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, PP, Colt got it for me for Christmas. Love it. Love him. Thank you. And then Lad's Choice. I really like PP. I don't know if I really want to talk about it. If you're listening and you follow me on Twitter, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow my Goodreads, I'm doing the reading challenge right now. Right now it is the 19th of December. I am at 56 out of 60 books, and I have 4 more to go. So I am definitely working my way to that. I'm currently reading Dune by Frank Herbert, and I just started I can just look at it. It's right next to me. The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, and that is a horror novel. So I'm reading those. I'm trying to decide what books I'm reading next. I read a lot of good books this year. I'm really proud of myself. Read a lot of good manga too. Caught up with My Hero Vigilantes. I actually got the Shonen Jump app, so I can read it on there. I've been reading My Hero Academia, the main story. Really fucking good. Recommend it. When this shit gets animated, it's going to be absolutely insane. Chainsaw Man. Read all of Chainsaw Man. Finished it. It's actually done. Chapter 97, last chapter. But it's only part 1. They're actually continuing it with part 2 in the Shonen Jump Plus subscription. So I think I'm gonna get that because Chainsaw Man was absolutely amazing, and reading it, and it was one of my favorite manga this year. Like I said, I read Vigilantes. Vigilantes is all right. It's I wouldn't say it's good as the main story, and it's kind of just twiddling its thumbs right now. I read some other manga. I need to catch up on The Promised Neverland, No Guns Life, and then books. Oh man, I really don't. Like I said, I read a lot of good books. I'll talk about one book that I read recently that I mentioned before. It was called Cows, and it's by Matthew Stokey. I don't know how to say his last name, but let me tell you, it is the most disgusting, depraved fucking book I have ever read and will ever probably read. But goddamn, it is one of the best. It is good. I gave it 5 stars. If you can think of any depraved act, it's in there. It doesn't hold back on language, too. Yeah, it was absolutely horrid. Can't say much about it. Other than that, it was so disgusting, and it was so funny because I remember that time Cole was talking about the painted bird, and I was like, man, I would never read the book for that. That sounds horrible. Then I read this, and I'm like, wow, this is more horrific. I loved it. It was good. I recommend it. I read a lot of good books this year, and I'll talk about those on my own thing. So, yeah.
Only thing is rediscovered some bands I like. I'm not going to go into specifics. Got into jazz, really cool. And
Nerd.
Fuck off. And JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
For mine, one big thing was comics this year. The biggest one this year was The Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing and Joel Bennett. As someone that I have like no real opinion on the Hulk, they completely made me into a fan with this series. It puts the Hulk mythology in a different light, and it pretty much has turned this like ongoing Hulk book into more or less a horror story, and it's just been so gripping to watch to read this whole story as it's because like literally I got the first volume from the comic strip from Justin. And then within like a week, I went back and got the next 2 or 3. Like I jumped onto this ship hardcore, and it's just been one of the most fun I've had with an ongoing like mainstream book in a very long time. And like I can't get over it. It's just really interesting, like morbid lore to have for it, and just like how really unsettling the art is. Like. It's drawn pretty realistically, but it's when you get to like the body horror stuff and how the Hulk transforms, it's like brutal and grotesque, and I've been loving every minute of it, and it makes me sad that I feel like it's kind of reaching its conclusion, like it's in sight, but like I'm ready for it to get there.
Yeah.
And basically that's been like my favorite comic of the year. The manga I've been joining, like let's see, Psychic Seer, new series that started this year about a boy with psychic powers. Superbly drawn, actually pretty spooky with its art. Kaiju number 8, about a low-ranking kaiju cleanup crew. One man he essentially becomes a human kaiju, and he sort of has to deal with his identity as a kaiju while wanting to be on a kaiju extermination team. It's very interesting. Actually has a adult protagonist in the manga. Who knew? And started Chainsaw Man. I hope to pursue that more this year. And lastly, I've just been really excited as a tokusatsu fan to see Ultraman get its sort of introduction to the West with its sort of more wide-scale releases and simulcasts. So that's been some of my favorite things from this year that doesn't quite fit in those other categories.
Hell yeah, dude.
And I guess lastly, we'll just talk briefly about what were our favorite shows for the year before we wrap up for the year. And my personal favorites this year was the Faygo Taste Test. That was a lot of fun, and the Letterbox game. That was a lot of fun to put together and play. Those are probably my 2 favorite episodes from this year that we've done.
Damn, Pat, you stole mine. My favorite was the Letterbox game. I had a lot of fun with that. That was really fun.
That was a good one. I think one of my favorites was the Pat cast.
Oh yeah.
I'm still fucked up over the War of 1812 bit.
That was a really good bit, Colt.
That was, yeah.
Thank you. My favorites, they're very recent, but I still really enjoyed them. Was just the spin the wheel stuff. I know it was a very simple, very easy to set up, but I just really enjoyed the kind of just the shooting off of questions and just doing that. I really enjoyed that.
I loved all the questions we came up with for that.
If nobody has anything else, I think that would be a good time to start wrapping up because this has been a marathon episode.
Yeah.
Please.
Because there'll definitely be a smaller award content than the last couple of years, but I feel like this is sufficient to what the year has given us. So we just want to give you a huge thank you for not only just listening to this like jumbo length episode, but also sticking with us this year, just throughout everything that's going on, and just through this sort of transitional portion of our show. How we just sort of we had people coming and gone. We had some just shifting with the show. We really appreciate you sticking with us. And despite everything, we had a pretty solid year in terms of our listens, and we can't thank y'all enough for that. We really do appreciate that. And I know this year has been tough, but hopefully we given you some sort of levity throughout the year. If so, we're glad we could help. So just thank you all so much for listening today and listening this year. As always, you can follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, and any RSS feed catcher out there. Share us with a friend, favorite, 5 stars, all that good stuff that helps us out, keeps the show going, and gets us in front of new listeners. You can follow us on our socials on Twitter and Instagram, AYCH Podcast, on Letterboxd and Facebook at All You Can Hear, twitch.tv/All You Can Hear, and YouTube at All You Can Hear. And lastly, for the final time this year, you can follow me, Patrick, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at John Lost His Name My Art on Facebook and John Lost His Name Art.
My name is Jonathan. You can follow me on Twitter at JONIIBOI24 and John Notenson 12 on Letterboxd.
My name's Colt. Follow me on Twitter at ColtD00. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.
I'm Wenzel. Thank you for listening. You can follow me on Twitter at Wenzel Wilkie. Follow my art Instagram at World of Wenzel. Check out my link tree to follow my Goodreads or Letterboxd. Thank you for listening. This year's it's been something. See you next year. Happy New Year.
Goodbye. Farewell. I love you.